Blah,
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 blah.
blah, 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 blah.
We're live now? Okay.
Oh my God.
All right. Well, we are live, as I understand it, with
Yeah.
me, Tom Woodley, and here we have Hans Pontius Odaga.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, that's you. That's you and your amazing name. What is the how did that name come to be? Do you have any special story,
Oh, I do
Hans?
have a lengthy story, but I'm going to shorten it into
Yeah. Yeah, give
extreme.
us the short version.
Is that I'm Ugandan. We get a lot of names. Half of them are honorifics, and the
Hmm.
other half are just things my parents thought were fun. So my full name would be like Pontius Hans Gerajo Mayaponi Odaga, and it's a 6-name spread. And it's really funny. When I was in high school, I had to have this huge paper that I had to get signed because I'm a UN baby,
Oh my
and
gosh.
it would say Sir Pontius Hans Jarava Jeremiah Pontius. Like it would be the most like it was this 5-page thing. It'd be like, here's my name, please just sign. Don't talk too much about it.
That's amazing.
Uh,
I'm Thomas Woodley the fifth, and I thought I was a pretentious kid,
the
but there you
fifth.
go. There you have you. So we're here at Difficult Terrain, and you are a player. I am one of the 2 dungeon masters of Difficult Terrain, and we've been having a really, really, really great time watching this. We are on episode 6,
Yeah.
so welcome everybody to episode 6. And I wanted to ask Hans, like, sort of, like, what's your like? I think we met because I actually walked into your store at the Brooklyn Game Lab looking at it as a potential location, and we met and started talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's how you got involved in
I
this project.
I remember because when I met you, you were working at your other job that was well known, and
Yep.
I just took you for a ride for like 5-10 minutes of just being like, yeah, I have no idea what that is. What is this thing they're talking about? And I just kept
Yeah,
going on it, being like, yeah, sure, if you think anyone might be interested. And
yeah.
then
We
you're
were
like, oh goodness.
we were talking about College Humor, which is the defunct, in many ways defunct comedy site, but yeah, Hans, like, what was this experience like for you? So well, I guess I should say, like, how long have you been playing, and what's your background in the D&D world or
Man,
tabletop world in general?
I've been playing for a very long time. When I was a young lad in Georgia State, I had like a nerd father, as I like to call him, that introduced me to everything. So I was like, since I was 10, I've been like playing and like jumping into DMing. But my experience in
Yeah.
the space, especially, is that I worked at a game store for a while, and I was been a professional dungeon master since like I got out of college, and
So
been
cool.
like going to various stores and working like freelance as like a side gig, and that's been so much fun. And it's always great meeting people this way and like getting to know like not just you but the character you want to be is really fun.
So as far as this particular production goes, because your background is, I mean, you do gaming stuff, but you also do like acting stuff and writing stuff, and as I understand it, right? You do
Yeah,
comedy stuff, and yeah. So what was the experience like? Like, what was your sort of preparation like, or how did you what was the process of creating all these characters? Because we're doing something very different here, where we're creating multiple characters for sort of an ongoing, sort of unfolding storyline. How was that different from the usual experience, or
I
was there any?
think
Yeah.
I think it was just very much like so much of like when you make a D&D character with your friends and you're sitting around the table, you're like, how am I going to meld with everyone? How are we going to work together? And then we were all thinking of that kind of, but we were also like, how am I going to make a character I really want to be in? And I think that was such a
Hmm.
huge focus because like I was never thinking about a character that would just be like, oh, these mechanics will be so fun. I was just
Yeah.
thinking about like, who do I want to play? Which was like, I think is definitely a different type of D&D, and it's a much more extroverted, more fun type of way, and rather than number crunchy, and which is a different type of challenge. But it was very interesting to build characters this way, and also building for them was like crazy because like I was just going back and forth between like 80 different tabs, being like, I guess I'll put this and this one and this and that one, and I guess I want this magic item, and I was losing my mind.
Yeah. Did you have of the 4 that you've played? So far we've met Bogwood, and I think we met Opal, and we met Riley, and we met Javert. Did you have a favorite character of the 4 that you've played?
Oh, oof. It's really hard to say. Actually, speaking of my name, the Bogwood inspiration voice for that was like a play on my father's voice. And that one's like near and dear to my heart. But I think I had the most fun being Javert because Javert was such a caricature, and I could really like play him up and play him down really easily because I had him very well constructed in my mind. And
So
then
we'll see where Javert goes, because that's so Javert is our town watch character,
Mhm.
and that plot line has only started. But Bogwood essentially kind of like sacrificed himself last episode, which was
Yeah,
very Hans. You have like as a player consistently made. I'm not going to do any spoilers, but consistently made really strong, interesting choices that have thrown both myself and Adam as DMs for a big loop, which has been really, really, really fun to deal with.
thank you.
There's a big one from Javert coming up in a couple. I don't know if it's this episode or a couple episodes, but that's very fun. You've had a lot of fun with it,
Yeah.
I think. Has there been any challenges for you as far as sort of like playing all like four, essentially what's four games at once? What's
Oh,
been the experience of that?
oh yeah. I started off. Actually, I think I have them over here. I started off with like four different journals to be like keep my character notes straight and be like, this
Oh my
is
gosh.
hot, this is Javert, this is this one, just to keep it like make it make sense.
Oh
It
wow.
was definitely challenging, and I was like definitely leaning on everyone else to like get a better understanding of how they were dealing. It was really good to have like our whole team and all the other actors, especially, to help me like go down this path who had a little bit more experience.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, well, I think I mean we've had a ton of fun doing this. I hope it's been an, different and interesting experience for you, and we look forward to seeing how this how all this story will play out. I think yeah, like I said, like you've made a lot of really really interesting choices, and in the next three episodes, I think your characters do a lot of really, really, really interesting things. So we'll want to see. I want to give a shout out to the Roots Project, because the Roots Project is sponsoring this entire endeavor. Project Roots is an immersive social justice and human relations experience for high school students. For those of you who haven't seen before, what Roots does is it brings together kids from all walks of life for a residential program that explores equity, that explores identity, and explores justice, and teaches kids to challenge bias and oppression and to form bonds of community that shape them for the rest of their lives, and also gives them a lot of fun doing so in the process. And we are very, very, Adam and I and the rest of us involved in this project are very, very excited to have the Roots Project sort of be a core part and core sponsor of this whole experience. And as such, the Roots Project believes that money should never be a barrier for kids that want to attend. So we're offering a sliding scale for participating schools. It's a completely volunteer staffed, registered 501c3 charity. So if you're watching, any donations that you make to the Roots Project will go directly towards subsidizing room, board, and transportation. We couldn't be prouder to partner with the Roots Initiative. So we are providing enriching, educational, fun, transformative, experiences for the kids of today and leaders of tomorrow. So if you are interested in learning more or giving in any way, please go to inclusiveroots.org/donate and give what you can. We are actually more than halfway on our route, Hans, to sponsoring one kid to go and do the Roots Project for a summer. So we are super excited.
Fantastic.
We'd love to get more. We'd love to get a bunch of kids going, but like we're part of the way there. So if anyone watching tonight wants to give, we're super pumped about that. We want kids to have this experience, and I know Hans, you teach this as well, but like this experience of teaching kids to play games and tell their own stories and narratives in that own way. Hans, before we get going, is there anything of yours that you want to plug or talk about or anything like that?
Nothing too much I want to plug. I would definitely say like support the Roots Project. It's very important. There's so much to be learned from games and game driven learning, and really go out there and like give a dollar, give anything you got. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's it. I'm ready to start the show.
Yeah, cool, great, me too. So today's show is really, really exciting. I'm super pumped. I think this is the period in time which we really like started to feel like the show is really coming together. Like the plot lines and narratives are really starting to take off. Last episode, the Vanguard, the Onslaught Vanguard, got into some serious trouble, And we're going to see where they turn up. We're going to see what happens with the Wandertraps, who were off exploring their own claim. And we're going to see what happens with this newly appointed town watch, who's looking to see what problems are happening at Fort Brigand's End. And we're going to look at what's happening with the scouts who are headed upriver to the city of Tourmaline, in which Riley, your turtle person, is a key component of. So,
oh yeah, this is wild.
Yeah, this gets wild pretty quickly. So, all right, yeah, Lauren, let's kick it off, and we'll see you in a couple of hours.
Welcome back to another episode of Difficult Terrain, the 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons actual play series where everything is 2 to 4 times harder than it needs to be.
This is episode 6.
There it is. I am one of your co-DMs, Adam DeLeo, and with me as always is...
Tom Woodley.
Who can say his own name. And joining us, of course, our fantastic cast. We have Danielle Cohn.
Hi.
We have Maximilian Clark.
Hi.
We have Soren Kissel.
Hey.
Carla Lerner Montero.
Hey, hey, hey.
And we have Pontius Hans Otaka.
Hey, hey.
And of course, we want to thank our men behind the curtain. We have David Haskell, our associate producer, and we have Hiram McLaren Becker of the Cannery Collective. We also, yes, thank you, yes. We want to thank our wonderful host, the 20-Sided Store, which is the best place on earth if you like games and dice, and you don't like holding onto your money because walking
it's a store. That's
in
what
the
it is.
store
Yeah.
And making it all the way to the back will ensure that you're going to buy something because it's awesome.
Yep.
It couldn't hurt to just get a little dice tray. That would...
Absolutely.
I think,
Oh, metal die. Oh, it's only
I might as well.
You really-
I made my own mini?
I believe, yes. Treat yourself
Yes.
is what we're saying. We want to thank our returning sponsors, Artisan Dice and Dogmite Games, who have hooked us up. Really just phenomenal gaming gear. So awesome. Make sure you check out their websites because they've got fantastic stuff. We also want to thank our new sponsors for episode 5 and 6, McClure's Pickles.
Yay, McClure's Pickles!
As we mentioned last time, we do not have pickles on hand,
You
but
mentioned last time that we're gonna have pickles.
let's just pretend we had them in between episodes.
gonna happen.
We have them off stage.
Yes.
We've all
Yeah.
been eating them.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
We're all
But
lousy
I'm
with
also
pickles.
Yes.
energized.
Yeah.
The pickles were a lie.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the truth about the pickles is they are really, really fantastic pickles. And this is not, I mean, even if I were not advertising this, I am a super huge fan of McClure's Pickles.
Yep.
You can get them at all kinds of grocery stores. They come in the garlic dill and the spicy. I mean, the spicy is phenomenal, but if it's too much, the garlic dill is just really awesome, super crunchy, super delicious. They also have a range of other stuff. They got like potato chips and things that are
Yeah.
flavored.
And hey, do you want to try them, viewers and listeners? Because you can.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
wait, do they have to pay full price?
No, that's the thing, is that you only have to pay 80% of the price. Let's even say that a more impressive way, which is to say you get 20% off. That's the best way.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to do the math on that.
4/5 of the.
Yeah.
No,
So it's very
wait,
simple.
okay.
Just take the normal price you would pay, divide it by 5, and then multiply it by 4, and that's how much you're going to have to pay.
I'm gonna do the math on that as well.
Yeah, we're not gonna
Yep,
divide by
tracks.
10 and then multiply by 10.
In all seriousness, McClures.com, you can get 20% off any order of pickles or chips or relish or Bloody Mary mix or what have you with the code Difficult Terrain.
Difficult Terrain, all one word. Difficult Terrain, and that's MCCLURES.com. That's McClures.com.
Right.
Enter the code Difficult Terrain. You get 20% off any order. And really, definitely, if you've never had a McClure's pickle and you think, oh, a pickle's a pickle, you are wrong because these are a step up, and you owe it to yourself to give them a shot.
Bloody Mary mix, for real.
It really is. It
Bloody
is the
Mary mix
truth.
is really
It is
good.
the truth.
I mean,
This
this
is awesome.
Pure pickle.
Oh, and you know what else? While we're talking about McClure's pickles,
That's for your throat. Good thing it makes them.
Did you guys know that McClure? We talked about it last time. McClure's Pickles invented right here in
Pickles.
Williamsburg, Brooklyn.
No,
Wait,
oh,
no,
sorry.
no.
Oh, okay. God, sorry. That's a falsehood. That is a falsehood.
The company started right here in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
The two brothers,
Yep.
Bob and Joe McClure.
Yep.
And actually, that's not the real last name, but they changed it.
Yes.
No.
Bob and Joe Pickle.
They started it here, and if you've ever had, and I have said this before amongst friends, and it was laughed at, but it is the truth. If you've ever had a pickleback shot, which is when you go to a bar and you have like a shot of whiskey, and then you chase it with a shot of pickle brine.
Yeah.
I swear, my hand on a stack of Bibles, that was invented by Bob McClure as a marketing tool for McClure's Pickles.
Yep.
Thank
So-
you, Bob McClure.
Yes.
Yep.
So-
that is his major contribution to society
is,
so
absolutely true.
far, Bob. Am I
Yep,
right?
Yep.
This is your second.
But so if you've never heard of a pickleback shot and it sounds gross, give it a shot.
Sounds gross. Highly recommend.
And if
Yeah.
you're a child and it sounds gross, it is.
That's right.
Yes.
Evil, yes.
If you are over 21.
Yes, responsible. Yes, or for our international audiences.
Or in Europe, 18.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Wait, no, is it?
I said child.
Sure.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Well, if you're in France, 8.
whatever. Whatever it is. But that is a true story.
Yeah.
And last, before we get going, we want
Yes.
to obviously thank Sirenscape, who the music and sound that accompanies our game
It's their logo.
comes
Their
from
musical logo for
Sirenscape.
sound design.
It's pretty sweet. Tom's getting really good at the interface, and it sounds awesome.
By the end of the season.
Yeah.
And we recommend, you know,
Season. Yeah.
you can actually download it for free, and you can try out a bunch of it. And the subscription price is really reasonable, so definitely check it out. You deserve to have that at your table as well. And I believe that is the last bit of business
You mean
before.
enough dilly-dally?
Enough dilly
Yeah.
dallying. Yes, yes. And you guys can't see it right now, but Hiram he was crawling on the floor to retrieve a jug of water. That's the dedication level of the Cannery Collective. That's
Where was
how
he
they
when I
do
dropped my wedding ring last week?
it. I'm glad he didn't go for it. I thought he was going to. But,
He's like,
um,
oh, look, we're married now.
Yeah.
All right.
What
Okay,
were you
so
doing fiddling with your wedding ring, Max?
I was
getting in
thinking-
character.
yeah.
Fiddly.
Theod's not married. Let's begin. So we are cutting to where we left off in episode 5 with
With who?
the Town Watch.
Right. All right, and as we discussed our town watch with Jauvert, the blue-haired gnome blacksmith, Zahala, the blue tiefling cook, Ragus Ehrlich Schuster, the imagination, the gravesman, who is not blue in any capacity.
Maybe it's humor.
Maybe we has yet to be decided. We have Gregory Karat, who is the recently appointed, newly indoctrinated corporal in the military who leads the watch, and finally we have Ken, the carpenter of the Malkrid people, and you have all gathered together on the unpaved, kind of muddy streets of this newly risen tent city, Fort Brigand's End, where you all did make landfall. And you are in your first night together. So as you survey the town, you have an opportunity to get to know one another, to play your roles, as it were. If there's anything you'd like to say to one another.
Just throughout the day, because we had some hours before the shift.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
yeah. You've had several hours. Yeah.
Just in terms of the lay of the
town?
the town, you said that we have rows of tents.
Yeah, not like a military, orderly, but you can make out rows. It's like very much like think about like Deadwood before all the buildings were built.
We're talking second day Firefest.
Okay. Okay. So and like a few hundred people, like how many? How long would it take to walk from
Sure.
one end to the other?
There were originally about 100 colonists and maybe 100 to 200 military. One of the ships did sink, and there were some lives lost, but because of the efforts of the Onslaught Vanguard, many of them were saved. So this town, though, is populated by the civilians and the small garrison of troops that are going to stay behind to kind of provide like a front line of defense. So it's not a big town. It's the kind of thing where if a person who is here wasn't on your ship, you probably don't know them well, but by now you've seen everyone's face. So it's a very small town kind of feel, maybe 90 people, maybe 120 people with the military mixed in. Then, of course, there are the crews of the ships themselves. They make their berth inside their ships because they're shortly going to go back to the Crown to pick up whatever it is they need to pick up, supplies, more people, that kind of thing. But for right now, they're free to mix into the town, and certainly some of them have come to avail themselves of the services, enjoy a pint at the tavern, that sort of thing. Yes,
Yeah.
the first pint.
How long until they depart?
Not long, a couple of days.
How long does the trip take? Like, so they'll go and come back in how long?
Correct. It took you 2 months.
So we can't expect them back for another 4.
Right, your resupply is looking like it's 4 months, unless the Crown sent additional ships in the interim. But you all at your level would not have known what their plans
Or
were.
unless the teleportation thing somehow changes, if someone figures out a way around that.
And how far is the time that we set up end to end? I mean, like, so if we're on patrol, is it like 5-minute walk? 20 minutes?
Oh, back and forth. I would say, yeah, you could probably make it end to end in 5 to 10 minutes, and that's at a nice leisurely stroll. You could do the perimeter of it in maybe 20. So yeah.
All right, great. Well, so no one is going anywhere here, right? So like, you figure your petty thieves, you know, your master criminals, if they steal something, where are they going to go? Until until these ships go, I don't think we have to worry about people fleeing too much. And
Well, they'll steal it and keep it in their pot.
yeah, and then
People will steal it.
live here, right? I mean, like, look, I know
Perhaps not
human
something
nature.
recognizable, but money.
Yeah.
Well, you see that
Well-
they could take the thing and then use it and run away. They could try and start a new fort.
Yeah, I mean, a new fort on their own, that is unlikely. But, you know, obviously, like, you know, I have some, you know, experience with criminals, keeping them off of my former employer, but it seems like you really understand what's going on inside the criminal mind. There's something real special about you, Ragus, and I respect that. So, what I would say, we're going to need someone to just watch the perimeter, look for people sneaking out, right?
Sneaking out.
Sure. Yeah, in and out of town. I would say that you know, if there are criminals among us, you know, they probably do want to you know, to go away. So why don't you take our friendly chef here and make a regular patrol. So you can stop every like 20 minutes or so. You don't want to.
You want us to walk around the edge of the town all night long?
We'll relieve you in a couple of hours, but it's where I want you to start off. You know, taking the night air. It's wonderful, right? And
It's a nice
Javert.
Yes, Corporal?
Yeah. You know, you and Quen here, Ken here, have some like wonderful artisanry. Like just the two of you are craftsmen, and you know, and I think skill recognizes skill. What I want you to do is I want you to take the interior and just like, again, you know, there's not much camp. Just go end to end, front and back, left and right, and report back here in say about 2 hours, and then we can switch it up. We can switch teams. We can, you know, really get a sense.
The magis-
Yeah, here in front of the pub. I mean, figure this is going to be a hotbed of activity. If there's criminals here, they're going to be coming in and out.
What are
They're
you
gonna
gonna
have
do today?
conversations. What's up?
What are you gonna be doing?
Well, of course, you know, someone has to monitor these rogues out there, right? And so I figure, like, why not start right here,
What
ground
would we
zero?
do without your expertise to tell us what to do? And
Well, I'm telling
we
you what to
really
do
need
right
your-
now. All you have to do is keep a eye out there. If you see something fishy, I don't want you getting in fights. I want you calling out for help.
Sir, Corporal, you see, it is my first day on the job. I've never done the defending thing of such. I am an artificer. I simply make things.
course.
And I need your expertise in fighting.
No.
and
That's why I give you.
I am.
That's why you're with the big guy, right, big guy?
But you seem to be a carpenter. You'd rather be building a building rather than fighting.
Oh no one should do any fighting. Don't worry about that. You are town watch. You're not a soldier. You're not a fighter. That's fine.
So if we find someone who has attacked someone else or stolen something, we're not to fight them.
I want you to call out as loud as you can. I want you to bring help. I don't want you sacrificing your nimble hands and your, you know, life of stage in like combat.
Okay, and-
Zahala, like this guy is so like cheerful and also is like separating us. She wants to kind of try to get a read on him.
Okay, so let's go ahead and generally we're not going to do like skill checks against one another to like force people to do things, but certainly
why
go
not?
ahead for an insight check. I think that's fair.
No, that's a 9.
Okay. So what were you attempting to? You were trying to just figure out if he was on the level, or
If he's up to something.
okay. Without even having Gregory roll, I'm going to say that's pretty low.
Yeah.
And Gregory, what do you want? What message are you trying to? Like, what aura are you trying to give? Like exude?
You know, just like I'm someone who's had a bit of command. We had a couple of soldiers serving under me when I was working for that jewel merchant. And this is typically how we'd start the night. We would give orders, we'd check in every couple of hours, we'd switch it off. Don't worry, everyone's gonna get some chance off their feet. This 10-minute break, preposterous. I'm gonna make sure that everyone rests up so you're bright and active at your jobs. And that's it. I just wanna feel like, hey, I get it. This is the job, but easy way to do it.
Okay.
My only question is that I see not to go against your orders. I see that you are, of course, our commanding officer, but it seems as though the town is very small. I can see every end, and I can see everyone who is part of town from here.
Yes.
And it is simply 5-minute walk there, 5-minute walk over here. So why do we need to divide when we could just simply say, hey, friend, why not stay together?
Well, I mean, of course, criminals love the shadows, and it's our job to make sure that they don't have any. I want everyone to take a torch with them.
There are no shadows. There's only one building.
Is
There's
this
lots
a
of
project?
lots of tents. Lots of
Yeah,
tents.
there's lots of tents. There's nooks and crannies, right? You don't have good line of sight. The main thing we don't want to see is, as Rygus so expertly pointed out, we don't want people sneaking in the back of tents. There's no security. There's just flaps, right? And so,
Okay.
typically criminals will stay to the light. They'll try to. All right, tell you what. Fun assignment, fun game. Hey Ken, how about you have the torch? And Javert, why don't you stay a good 20 feet behind Ken on your first couple of patrols, and you can play this game of how sneaky can I be?
What Ken wants to say is that sounds unnerving, but he thought that might be rude.
All right, now
Appreciate your service.
let's have Gregory do an insight check here.
Yeah, great.
On just in general insight.
Okay, great. I also have a ring of truth telling, which gives me advantage.
We're not quite there yet.
Okay, great. Well, this is I rolled a 3, so that's a 6.
Okay. Yeah, I think then that sounds about right for how generally oblivious Gregory seems to be to what his subordinates are putting down. So I think unless you guys want to put your foot down, I think this plan your commanding officer has issued orders.
Absolutely.
So unless you want to do anything else, we're gonna go ahead and break up the party.
Yes.
Alright.
After we do a slight break up, for maybe after the first 15 minutes, Jovert's gonna make a point to be like, hey Ken, why don't we go?
Well, let's do that.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and say that the parties have split. Zahala and Regis have gone off in one direction to walk a perimeter, at least the beginnings of one. Javert and Ken have gone up and down the town, and let's actually we'll start with Gregory and say, so you've seen your the watchmen who have been entrusted to your care. You sent them off on their way. What is Gregory doing?
Okay. Now, I didn't do this, in order to have a relaxing time. I am going to go into the First Pint Inn for surveillance, actual surveillance. I want to keep an eye on, we have a lot of sailors. I want to try to pick up some of the gossip,
Okay.
talk to people. And, of course, if I'm there to keep my cover, obviously I want to have a pint. People
Sure.
will recognize me as a town watchman, but I don't want to be.
Now, would you say that you are doing more chatting people up for information, or are you just kind of listening to see what you overhear?
More listening.
All right, so give me a perception check.
That is a 19.
Oh, that's very good. So it doesn't take you long. You're used to this. This is kind of your wheelhouse, is picking up little scraps of information and figure out how they fit together. It doesn't take you long at all to learn the name of the owner of the tavern. His name is Brindle Boresnout. Brindle Boresnout. A dwarf who is behind the bar, serving ales as quick as he can because people are coming up fast.
Hold your horses, I'm gonna get to you.
Yeah, the horses especially are really
Yeah.
thirsty. So,
They drink too much. What do you want from me?
yeah, the horse walks into the bar and tears that. You do hear some people on that 19. I'll say that you even hear a little bit of stuff about some people making jokes that Brindle's private reserve is really something to behold, and you being someone with experience in this sort of world, you quickly pick up on the idea that it's not just good stuff; it's stuff that probably he shouldn't have. Not like poisons and murder things, but more just if you were so inclined, this might be the dude you would go to if you're trying to get something a little special that maybe was just outside the boundaries of what the magistrate thinks is acceptable. So that's Gregory. He's inside there. And now we'll go ahead and go to Javert and Ken. And you guys are, you're walking your beat. You've at least started on that way. You watched Gregory go into the tavern. What do you say to each other? What do you do?
Ken, do you believe that you're holding the torch. I'm not 20 feet away from you. I'm like right next to you. Do you believe that we should be separate, or I am kind of scared, simply as I'm kind of scared to be alone without the other two. You know, being just a town watch. Jovert's like very comfortable.
Yeah, how about your 6'5"?
I'm 6'5" and just like rippling with muscle.
You're thrice his size at least. So.
Yeah, I think you might be almost 3 times my size.
I know you guys like holding hands, like me with my little kid, like, way down there.
I am not holding your hand.
Javert does not do that. So then Javert is like, well, I guess he was trying to say that we should be inspecting our defenses instead of, walking around the town. But I would like to catch up with the others if you are cool with that.
Sure. Would you like to hold the light?
Oh, I do not need it. Do you need the light?
No, I can see in the dark.
Oh, I can see in the dark too.
And it's made of wood, I assume.
Yeah.
Ken takes out like a small whittling knife, and he starts whittling it into what's it called? Not a mallet. The thing you,
a gavel?
No, a gavel for the
magistrate.
Something for the magistrate to bang his gavel or their gavel against.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So it's just sort of quietly.
Like one of these almost.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Whatever that's called, yeah.
It's called a gavel
starts
throne.
whittling it into that, but he can do that as they walk.
No, we don't know what that is.
By the time he's done, it would be surprisingly very beautiful, but he can do it kind of.
So Ken is multitasking, and both things
with a
are
knife in his hand.
are both exactly what he's supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
All right, and then we'll go to Regis and Zahala.
So you know how to cook? How'd you learn how to cook?
My father taught me.
Yeah, cooking for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even sure what to think. That's got to be hard. How do you know how much to cook? How do you know how much to cook?
Do you know how much to make for yourself when you feed yourself?
Yes.
Cool. So if you're cooking for 2 people, you make twice that.
No, yes.
And so on.
Say you're cooking for 40. How do you... What if you run out? What if the 39th person comes up and takes the rest of it and the 40th person has nothing to... That's... I can't imagine. I cannot imagine.
You portion it.
Well, how about we sit down for a minute? My legs are tired. Your legs tired?
We just got here, and I don't...
Your horns itch.
They did when they were growing in.
Yeah, baby horns. Do tieflings have baby horns that fall out first? Like your teeth?
Have you never met a tiefling before?
Not a baby tiefling.
Huh. She just walks ahead.
All right, and we're gonna cut away from there. And we're gonna move on.
Okay, very good. So
I mean, this is everything I wanted.
as the watch goes on, we cut to the scouts on the side of the waterfall dam, and actually we have begun battle because what happened last time was Riley walked up towards the animated ballista on the gates, and they started to fire. One of which hit in a fire spell that hit. Very loud fire spell. Thank you.
It did a massive 5 points of damage.
Massive 5 points of damage. Ding, bonk.
Yeah, and like
hit the ground in front of you, and a little bit of fire got on you. Let's say. But yes, you are. So let's roll for initiative now, because the rest of you have seen this happen.
Riley, you already rolled. So we got your score, and we got the ballista. We're saying ballista or ballista. I like ballista better.
Yeah, ballista. Ballista's good.
So we're next to a river. The river goes through a gate.
Yeah,
in
there's
the wall.
yep.
You call it ballista. It
So
sounds
it's-
like
And how far up
Yes.
are
So to set the scene, so you guys are on a bluff about 20, 25 feet above the river, okay? And level with you, and the walls of the city are not far before you. I mean, you could dash and make it to the walls of the city, but they rise another 30 feet higher. So really the only way without climbing into the city is to go through the gate behind these animated ballista, and the ballista are sort of spread out over top of a dam, if you will, over that crosses the river. Now, the dam is supposed to be open like a sluice, but and water's supposed to flow through, but it's dammed up with something, and so water is flowing over top of it. And it's as these guys are they're constructs. As these constructs are in position, water is still flowing past them. They're sort of half in the water.
All right, so let's go. Anybody get higher than a 20 on your initiative roll? All right, 15 to 20. All right, what did Carla get?
17.
All right, so that puts you at the top. Yep. Anybody 10 to 15? All right, we had Hans. We had Hans at 11. So Hans is next there. 5 to 10. Okay, what'd you get?
6.
5.
Fail, actually.
All right. Okay. So Soren is up next. The 5 then is Maximilian. 1 to 5.
I got a 2.
Wow. Well done. All right. So the ballista.
Get it an initiative.
The ballista's got they got a 3,
Yep,
and then
no dex.
that'll put.
Oh
Gonna
wait,
put-
no, I lost.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I have no
text.
Okay. So there's our order. All right. So top of the order. We're gonna go. Top of the order we have. I can't even see it from the back. Carla. Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, I still beat the ballista. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So Carla.
So, sorry.
Roderick saw at the beginning of the attack, Riley moved up close. He got within 30 feet when the 3 functional ballistas opened up on him. They all fired only 1 hit.
Judged him to be a threat and fired on him.
And he actually, with his whip, was able to hit one of them twice pretty squarely, and it looks in bad shape. The other 2 look in much, much better condition.
Let me check something real fast about a thing I have. So, I have a little rod of rulership.
Okay.
So, these guys are within 120 feet of me.
Oh yeah.
So I would like to use my rod to, they have to succeed on a DC 15 wisdom saving throw.
Yeah.
Or be charmed by me for 8 hours.
Okay. And so wait. So you, I believe you. How many charges do you expend on that time?
I only get 1.
Oh, that's it. Oh yeah. Okay. So you use
Until
that.
tomorrow.
And you can't tell, in a meta sense if they're rolling, but it seems that whatever you did, that it has no effect whatsoever. And with your arcane, actually the last game you had a pretty high arcana check.
Yeah.
We'll carry that over and say that you recall just a hair too late that constructs are typically immune to being charmed.
Oh, it said creature. I thought creature.
Yeah.
Indeed, they are creatures. They certainly are creatures. But some creatures
Just
have
particular type.
resistances or immunities to various things. This one happens to be immune to that. But you make a very impressive show. And what does your rod look like? Is it like a fancy rod, like with your house logo on it?
Yes.
Or, yeah. Okay.
Oh,
so
yeah.
yeah.
It looks like a king's scepter.
As you wave it about, you notice that the 3 functional ballistas, they all track at you, and then they begin scanning for other targets,
Oh dear.
just like that.
Right.
So that is Carla's turn, unless you want to, make any movements or any bonus actions.
No, that's fine.
All right. So Riley is up again,
Yeah.
and you took several good shots at the one ballista, and the others are still looking pretty good.
The ones are still looking pretty good.
Yep.
So how far away from them are they exactly? How far away are they from each other?
About 15 feet apart, each of them.
15 feet apart. Okay.
Enough that they get a good spread on any approaching,
Yeah,
enemies.
That's a solid bet. Okay, so, well, I think I'll just make it simple. We're gonna attack them again. Same one.
Sure. Same one. Yep.
And so that is a 12 plus 8, so that's a
Yes, most
dirty
definitely.
20, and then I'm gonna go ahead and roll for a second attack as well. And that's a 10 plus 8, that's an 18.
Actually, before you roll a second attack, let's roll the damage on the first one. You can keep that roll.
Okay, that 18.
Yep.
All right. So the first attack is going to do 10 damage.
And it had 9 hit points left, which is why I wanted you to save the attack. With your whip, amazingly, and is your whip also your fishing rod, like your fishing
Yes,
pole?
it's
All right.
also
That's cool.
Sweet. So that's pretty dope. So that you whip it out, and this you are so skilled with it that the leather thong at the end of it cracks right in a vulnerable spot, and just the whole mechanism fails and cascades down the bank. And you have destroyed one of the 3 ballistas. 2 remain. The one closest to you is about 25 feet away, because you were 10 feet from the first one. Next one down is another 15. So you can certainly move up to it, though.
I'm gonna close that distance.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try.
And that's going to take all of your movement because you were walking through rushing water over top of the thing. So you're in about like maybe say 18 inches of fairly fast rushing water over the.
Okay.
Yeah, the type of terrain you're going through is like harder to get through than normal.
You might even call it.
Nah, I wouldn't call it that.
Fair.
We used all our
It's
charges.
challenging ground.
Yeah, challenging.
Pickle juice.
Pickle. It's briny. All right, so you got your second attack, and you already rolled an 18, which is enough to hit. So go ahead and roll damage.
Okay. So let's see. This one is a 7 damage, and we're gonna. What's it? We're gonna try again to pull it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. And so that's still a DC 16.
Yeah, and again, I'm going to give it advantage because it's anchored. That's a 7, which isn't going to cut them out. That's an 11 plus 2 is a 13, so that'll fail. So I'll say you actually yoink it down and you break it free from its moorings, and it's gonna cascade down as well. So while it could still technically fire, it's stuck in the muck, and it really is having a hard time rotating and acquiring targets. So we'll say that one is pretty well out of commission, unless someone walks right within its path of fire. So that's a heck of a turn for Riley.
Yeah.
Gladiator.
Yep.
And-
Which brings us over to Soren.
It brings us to Nukta.
Nokta.
Yells, Riley! And I'm gonna run. I'm tightening my gloves of missile snaring. I'm gonna run not into the water because that won't serve me well, but along the bluff to try to get myself within the ballista's range.
Oh, they have a very long range. You mean like within range of them being
I
able
want
to
to be
attack?
another target for it.
Yeah, you are. They have a range of 120 feet, so you were within range long before they started firing.
But what we can say is we can allow you to make yourself the most prevalent target
That's what I'm trying to
on
do.
the bank
Yeah,
for it.
yeah. I'm gonna try to draw. And am I within 80 of it?
Yeah.
Okay, so vicious short bow, not the viscous one that slips out of my hands.
we dealt with that last episode.
Yeah,
though,
not
so-
as useful.
Well,
No.
this is-
All right, go ahead and make an attack roll. And there's only one ballista that's still functioning as it was intended. So that's the one you're in for.
21.
Oh yeah. AC 15. Not too hard to hit. They're stationary.
10 points.
Okay. A solid hit. That is. I believe that's you don't get another attack, right? It's just the one.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that is Nokta's turn, which went very smoothly. Which brings us over to Theod.
Great. So I'm assuming that as a construct, it has like metal bolts and like casings and things like that.
Yep. Iron bands around it. Yep.
Right, exactly. So for the still functioning one, I'm gonna cast heat metal.
That'll do. Yeah.
There's no save. There's no attack roll. It just takes 2d8.
And is that it's an object, right? So that well, no, it's not an object. It's a creature.
It's a creature.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, it's just automatically roll it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's 9 points of damage.
9 points of damage. Solid.
And I can repeat that as a bonus action on each of my next turns.
Okay. Awesome.
Nice.
So you are maintaining concentration.
Yeah, and sorry, just geographically, so they're up in the on the wall.
They're pretty much level with you actually,
alright.
because they were designed to attack people kind of coming from the river. You were walking along the bank.
Okay, then yeah, I'm gonna and Riley is in the water charging at him, and
Yeah, he's right next to. Well, he's not right next to the one you're attacking.
Where's
He's close
Roger?
to it. Roderick's in the bank on the bluff.
Okay,
Close to
I'm
Nocto.
just gonna go casually stand next to Roger. It's like, oh, you do magic too.
Okay, so so as you do that, you see steam is starting to rise from the water around that last ballista, and it is that last ballista's turn.
All right, so the ballista is going to again look at Riley, who is the main threat right now. The one who's actually, we'll say this one because Nokta, you're like here. It's gonna go ahead and it's gonna aim for you. That is terrible. That is 13, which is not gonna get you, right? Yeah. So it fires a very impressive flaming bolt from it, but sails well over your head and like into the water.
Yeah.
It splashes down harmlessly. Right. And that brings us to Aram.
Yes, I think just for the heck of it, Aram is going to mutter the magic word that makes his Lightbringer glow, even though they are not. What? Lightbringer is his mace, which is shaped like a sunburst made of solid brass. Really, when it's glowing, it's against undead things, but he just likes it to glow when he fights.
Wait a second. Are you a social justice warrior?
Maybe literally, yes. So he's gonna run towards the final ballista that's functioning, and he's going to try to hit it with his weapon, which is that's not great. That's an 11 to hit.
That's a total? No.
But he's gonna use his extra attack and just try to hit it again.
Yeah.
Actually, a spell can be an attack, right?
It can, but when it comes to the extra attack feature, that's an extra melee attack.
Melee attack, great. So he's gonna do that again, and that is a 15.
15 will hit. 15 was the AC.
Great. So that's a 1d6 plus 2. And he's going to use his Divine Smite to expend a spell slot for it to deal an extra 2d8 radiant damage. So that's 8 plus, where's my d8? 9, 12. 12 damage.
Wait, I think also does extra radiant damage when it's glowing.
No, that's against undead
Okay.
things.
So wait, that was 12 plus
12
9?
total.
12 total.
Yeah.
Really? For a d6 plus 2d8?
Yeah, it sounded like it was a 1 and then a 3.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
The rolls were
Eight.
All right. Well, still a solid hit. It's chugging along with this one. Of all the ones that you saw, this one is the one that was in the best condition. So you give it a good smack, but it's still chugging along. But that brings us back to the top of the order with Roderick.
I think I might try to hit one of them this time.
All right. There's only one left. So yeah.
I will try to hit it.
Okay.
With my Eldritch Blast.
With an
Oh,
All right.
Love an elf.
So you're gonna hit it from range.
Yes.
Yep.
Like a good old-fashioned elf.
Eldritch Blast. So that is a 26.
That'll do.
Yeah. Well, for
Great.
That'll do, Blast.
And you're firing 2 Eldritch Blasts, I believe you can do, right?
Yes.
yes.
Yes. Or rather, each they have, it has 2 beams.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it D12? No, it's a D12. This one, yes.
You get it.
Okay.
It's a D10, right?
Yeah. D10 plus 5.
Boo! So that's 14.
Good.
Wait.
Oh.
And then I have another 5 on top of that because of one of my invocations.
No, that plus 5 is.
Yeah, that's already in there.
That's already included.
Yeah, it is.
Yep. Because
The
normally,
normal spell
yeah,
just does 1d10.
yeah, exactly. So it's 1d10 plus
D&D
5.
Beyond is one step ahead.
It's beyond.
It's beyond.
Yeah. I just. Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
I trust you.
All right, so that was 14.
Yes.
Awesome.
Get that ballista.
And now, wait, is that now?
It's still there. It's still that did some solid damage. It's well beyond bloodied at this point.
Do
It's
I have
not.
to roll it
Yes, you roll a second attack. Yep.
Okay. That's another 26.
Yep, that'll do.
Nice.
Double do.
That's a 6.
Okay. It's looking in rough shape, and it is starting to between the heat metal that's making its metal turn red and smoke, the wood's starting to char, and splintered chunks have been flying off from the Eldritch Blast. It is looking really bad, but it's not quite taken apart just yet. It comes back to where it all began with Riley.
How far away is Riley? So how far away? No, wait.
You're right up on it because you were just whipping at it, so it's 10 feet away.
It's 10 feet away.
15.
Dang.
Well, his whip only has your whip is a 10-foot range.
Yeah, 10-foot range.
Got it. Yeah, okay.
So yeah, we're gonna keep it simple and just hit it with the whip. So first attack is a 14 plus 8.
Yeah.
So
More than enough.
That's a cocked die. That's gonna be a 9.
Okay.
What did you guys call that?
Cocked die.
As if it's standing on it's not completely flat. Yeah. It just sounded like cock
Die!
I don't know what else you can
The
do.
second attack is a 10, so it misses.
All right, second attack misses. It's in bad shape though. It's making all sorts of horrible like grinding mechanical noises.
no.
But it's still not down. Nokta, you are at range and you are waving your arms to try and get its attention and firing arrows at it. Okay,
19.
it'll hit.
7.
All right, 7 points of damage. It's on what one might say, if it had legs, it would be on the last of them, but it is still up and around.
This is a tough one.
And Theo, it is your turn.
Well, can I start with my bonus action?
Sure.
All right, great. Yeah. No. Man, you just had like laser beams out of your hands and things like that, and sorry, 11 points of damage.
It's nothing.
What kind of damage?
Yes, you do your bonus
heat
action to
metal.
maintain heat metal.
Heat
As
metal,
he's
yes,
talking,
yes,
he's
yes,
like,
yes.
right.
Roger can
Right.
raise the praise. He's like, oh.
And just distractedly, like he doesn't even notice.
This old thing.
Yeah. The concentration spell continues to emanate. The metal heats up, bolts and rivets fling free as the whole thing collapses under its own weight, and kind of a small explosion of sparks, wood chips and various detritus burst forth as what's left tumbles over into the water, and this ballista is no more.
Riley, grab my arrows if you can.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Can
you
I
sure
get
can.
Gertrude?
You can go down.
Yeah, I mean, you can try. I feel like the DMs get to decide.
What is the question?
He wants to pet Gertrude, and
I was going to do this my action.
Yeah. Well, no, that's your call. Gertrude is 100%. You know Gertrude's personality better than anyone
Okay.
else.
You can also communicate telepathically.
that's true. She will allow it. Cat like she patters her head and pretends to like it less than she does.
All right, so you give her some scritches, and Riley is collecting arrows for Nokta. Generally, the way we'll do this is we'll just say that however many arrows you fire, you get half back, rounded down. So you fired 2 arrows, you get 1 back.
Thank you, Riley.
And so now, what you can see is now that Riley has, taken all of the city of Tourmaline's defenses out of the city of Tourmaline and down into the river below, you see that you have free entry through the gates, and you can gather your things. And as the early morning sun starts to rise in the west, because that's the crazy world we're in here in Odan.
That I did not know.
As the morning sun begins to rise, and the steam sort of starts to rise off of the river, you enter the city of Tourmaline, and we cut to a very different scene. We are now in the woods with the Wandertrap family. We haven't seen in a few.
Why? Not.
Now, the Wandertraps have been wandering around. You have crossed the River Beswick and destroyed that crab god, or what you assume to be a crab god, that the crab folk were all prostrate around. Prostate or prostrate? I don't know. Prostrate, I think, yeah.
Prostate is a different.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although,
I don't know which one you mean.
Yeah.
very important to take care of, folks.
Exactly.
Really,
Yes. So you've been wandering since then, and a full, I want to say, day and a half has passed since then, and you have these sort of after maybe about a couple of hours of travel, as you are going, I suppose, west of the Beswick, sort of northwest, you came across the remnants of a country lane. And now you're passing through and again, a cursory glance. This is a very small road. Wouldn't be on the map. It's just sort of like kind of like through fields and so forth. But in places it's still a road, and in other places it's just rubble, or places where the grass hasn't grown up quite as high. You're passing through long, tall grass, much taller than opal. Yes. Yeah. So you're seeing, insects are kind of.
In the direction of Tourmaline from the Bay of Beswick.
Actually, you are headed. If you look towards Tourmaline, you see about a day's walk to the west. You see like a tower, and do you see that between Tourmaline and Airport?
I do.
And then probably a little south of that road is where you are headed. So.
Sorry, you said we had a long rest?
Yeah, you would have had a long rest. Yes.
Oh.
And
I had such troubling dreams.
And oh, did you? And Mama, how I guess, your call to decide how people are resting. You know, you have what you've managed to save from your caravan. Are you all kind of sleeping in the caravan? Are you sleeping out underneath the stars? Are you striking tents?
Yeah, did you get a chance to rest after that?
No, you
Yeah,
have.
well, you said we've been traveling for a day and a half.
Yes.
I think we would have stopped for the night.
Okay.
I think we would have made a tent, which the farm hands can sleep in,
Mm-hmm.
and the kids can sleep in the wagon. So I
Okay.
want them to be nice and safe.
Yep.
And the farm hands and I have been alternating who's taking watch. And can I play out a very brief scene that would have happened that night before all the kids went to bed?
Of course.
All right, so I send all the kids to bed, and I made sure that Amethyst is actually distracted and in the wagon. That she's bickering with Jade, so I know she's distracted.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked Opal to come see me for a minute. And not Opal, Apple. I'm a mother. I get my
Well,
kids' names.
those two especially, they look exactly alike. You know?
Yeah, and I say,
I'll sleep in the
No, I-
wagon.
Ab-
No problem. I want to be safe like everybody else.
oh, you're going to be safe, darling. I just wanted to say you were so brave today, and your mama is so proud of you, and I have a little gift for you.
Really?
Yes.
No, did you see that Opal fixed Pinky's leg? Now Pinky can walk along. I still walk next to Pinky because I don't want her to be lonely because she's used to me carrying her backside. But she can walk all by herself. I think you should give that to Opal.
Oh no, bless your
Whatever
heart.
it
This one's for you, darling. And out of my poke of holding, I take a great driftwood. Is that not what it's called?
Yes, it is.
It is. I take a great driftwood club, which is a smooth driftwood, but it's got some runes inscribed on it. And I say, this is for you, darling. I know we're heading into some, we don't know what dangers are ahead, but I just want to say I'm proud of you and that you are a good brother.
Oh, that's too big for Opal. You made the right choice.
I did. I think it's bigger than Opal. So you keep this safe, and your mama wants to make sure that you and your all her kids are safe. All right. Now you go to sleep and you have some sweet dreams. All right, honey.
Night, Mama.
Night.
I will sleep in my new driftwood club.
Night, baby.
Night, baby.
So yeah, I think Mama and the farm hands sort of alternate watch, so everyone
Yeah.
gets a fair amount of sleep. The kids are asleep in the wagon, and then I think at dawn, I also think we made a campfire using Opal's powers and had some really lovely roasted crab for dinner.
Yeah, delicious. Yeah, Mr. Church was excited about that.
Yeah. And then I think we've just been traveling straight through.
He's traveling straight through. Okay, well then, watch produces nothing unusual other than the sound of far off, strange animals and so forth. But nothing comes threatening, and then.
Sound effect.
Yeah, thank you. And then the day rises, and you get the kids up early, and everyone stretches, and you put out your campfire, and you make your way.
Yeah.
And
Is this club anything?
It is now in your inventory.
Oh wait, yeah, I took it out of mine.
Yep, it's out of yours, and it's now in. Let's see.
yeah.
That's right. D&D Beyond is actually pretty cool for stuff like this, right? That's
Yeah.
fun. And let's see. We'll go ahead and boop. There you go.
Yeah.
Right there.
You just gifted it? Is that like a thing?
Well, I
Well,
took it
No,
out of
he
mine.
just transferred it to the
okay,
thing.
okay.
Yeah.
It's not like a send.
Yeah, on the
no.
campaign level.
Although, I mean, I do wish that they. Well, we can
We
get
can- we
all
can
my,
talk
my.
about
I have a list of things.
Yeah, so D&D Beyond, if you sponsor us, we'll give you the list of things that we think.
Yep.
could be
Otherwise, I'm
improved.
keeping it to myself.
$1 million idea.
Yeah. So anyway, so the daylight arises, and there's a nice soft rain at certain times in the day, but nothing aggressive. You're not. The livestock seem happy. You guys are happy. It's beautiful, temperate. This is beautiful country out here. It really is. Just like nice plains. At a certain point. After kind of traveling for most of the second day, the sun's getting a little hot overhead, and there's some annoying insects. Of course, nothing as annoying as the sturges or anything like that. You're a little on edge because of that. Your mama, you have your sort of your claim map, right? Where you're going, and you see the telltale sign of the silver stream, which is what you were told to look for. The silvery stream is a small, at times barely a trickle of water, but it has so named as to your as it won't be on any of those maps, but. It's just what you were told to look for your own personal farm claim, and the silvery stream runs kind of through your claim, eventually connects to the Beswick. So you've just sort of been roughly following that. So named because every once in a while there's this kind of a silvery glint off of some of the rocks there, and you get to it, and you get to a place where you think. You're at where your claim is supposed to be. You were told, like, go to the silver stream until it winds around this way, and there's a couple of old gnarled trees and a couple of ridges, and pert near good enough. This looks like a place where there's gnarled trees and ridges. So what do you do?
All right, Mr. Church.
Yeah.
I would like you and the other farm hands to start setting up our.
I'm Mr. Church. Are you Mr. Church?
I think I'm Mr. Church.
Okay, you can be Mr. Church. We forgot who was cast as who.
I need you and the rest of our lovely farm hands to start setting up our farm. When you think that everything's, well enough in order, if you can spare one of you, I think you should head back to Fort Brigand's End and just make sure that everything's all up to snuff with the magistrate, right? If they give you any trouble about us having left a little bit early, you can just tell them that we had permission to go from that one at Dragonborn. Remember?
Yep, no problem, Mrs.
Just tell them everything's accounted for, that we found our claim and whatnot. Make sure that you've got everything you need to get back on your own. Also, make sure to send one of them. I can't spare you. I'm going to take the kids. We've got a little family errand we need to run. We're going to do a little bit of scouting up around here. We may not be back for a few days, but I trust you figuring around here.
You all right, Mrs.? We'll be here.
All right.
Good luck.
Definitely, most important thing is start setting up the farm, making sure that we're planting everything, getting everything ready to go for harvest time. And if with whatever extra time, energy you got, you can start building some sort of little building for us to live in.
Right, all right, Finn, Rue,
Yeah.
with me. Let's go. Put down.
Okay, before Mr. Church leaves, Opal's gonna give him a big old hug before.
Aww.
Well, Mr. Church isn't going anywhere. Mr. Church is setting up buildings
before you guys leave.
Yeah.
And Mr. Church looks down like, that's right, I'm confused too. And you take care of yourself, all right?
All right,
Take care of your mom.
Come with me.
So thanks, Mr. Church. You be safe.
You too.
I have a DM read question on spell detect thoughts.
Okay.
Because according to my read, for the duration you read the thoughts of certain creatures, you can focus in on them. I initially learned the surface thoughts, and then if I choose to probe deeper, they get to make a wisdom save.
Correct.
And then they would know that I cast it. What if I don't dig deeper? Do they know that I cast
My
it?
read of that is they're none the wiser, and that's like generally like spells like unless it specifies the person knows and or they see you casting it. Now, bear in mind, Detect Thoughts does have verbal and somatic components, so someone might see you doing your jade
I was gonna
thing.
say, can I roll something to see if I notice?
Well, let's. So, what is it you're doing exactly? But yeah, no. My read is if someone might see you casting the spell, but whether or not that person would know you're actually in their mind. My read is if you're just skimming the surface, you get whatever's foremost on their mind, and then you can shift that to another person, but they would never know that.
So I'm going to say that to cast it without Mama noticing, assuming that's you're casting a Mama,
Right.
you'll need to make a stealth roll.
Okay. During her conversation, like it's not.
Yes, that's fine, but I'm going to say that she's seen you pull this trick before,
Yeah,
probably.
I'm gonna say,
so
can I roll insight against it?
Well, let's actually make you do a perception check.
Yeah.
See if you can see
Perception?
Jade doing this.
Alright.
How did Jade do? Wait, a 3 total? And you got a what total?
I got a 4.
So everyone's a little distracted by their trip.
There's a whole lot of stupid going around this family.
That's ever won any kind.
Yep, but you do pick up. It's like it's almost an afterthought. You don't even see it happening. You're like, and you know she's good.
Well.
But does she still get the info?
Oh yeah, you cast the spell, sure.
Great.
Yeah, Mom, I was just gonna start on my chores. Because I imagine if she saw me doing it and I hear her surface levels, then yeah, I'm just gonna pack up and look after Opal and.
Yeah, anything. What's he getting from your surface level?
I think probably surface level thought is like Gotta get the kids, gotta find the mine. Like, that's what's at the front of her.
And then turning probably swiftly into Amethyst, you get out of my
Right,
mind.
right.
And
Probably,
yeah, you two, you know better than that young lady.
I'm so, you know, it's funny sometimes when I'm tuning my crystals.
Honey, do I look like a baby?
No, Mom.
No. So do you think I was born yesterday?
No, Mom.
Does that feel like something that feels even possible?
No,
As
no,
I
Mom.
am your mama?
Yeah,
Can
yeah.
you do some basic math there?
Yes, Mom.
All right, darling. Don't you let me catch you in my brain again.
Yeah, Mom.
All right.
The rest of you are like, nothing
If I
happened.
wanted you to have that information, I would have told you out my mouth, wouldn't I?
Yes, Mom.
All right.
And Jade, how are you feeling watching all this go down?
I will tell you the information you need to have when you need to have it.
And already Mr. Church and the hands are hard at work hammering things, making a lot of banging noises, polishing up a barn.
Well, of course, Mama. I'm sorry to.
All right,
I'm being
kids, grab
intrusive.
some rations, grab whatever you need to grab. We might not be back here for a few days. We're going on a little camping trip.
And now, are you all walking, or are you taking mounts with you? Like,
Well, let's actually pause. So
Yeah.
you have a place, and you have a map
Yes.
that I sent you. So you have a place that you know where you're going.
Yes.
So if you take a look at that map, you'll see that there's two ways that you could go.
Yes.
And what I want you to decide as Mama is basically, you're kind of at the bottom of that map, right? And see where that tower is. You're probably that's probably a couple hours north of you. So
Okay.
I think your two options here are basically, go to that big road and kind of, as you go north.
Sorry, is the dark yellow road?
The dark, yes, the dark tan yellow is road. So
slip and slide.
it's this giant slip and slide that
Very
runs
technical.
across the continent. So you see that there is a road that goes north to that place.
Okay.
Now, I think your choices are roughly, you could decide you want to go over towards that road and travel on the road, or you can kind of skirt the road and stay, kind of go directly north and kind of walk through the forests and the grasslands and so forth and avoid the road.
Great.
And I'd like you to make a choice so we know what to bring.
I think I want to split the difference.
Okay.
So I want to travel straight up and be off of the road,
Okay.
but so that if things get crazy in the forest, we can skirt towards the
Okay, so close to the road,
road. Yeah,
but not necessarily close to the lake or that.
yeah, if you, sorry, but if straight up and down is the middle of the map,
Mhm.
I would be a third to 2/3 in from that middle. Right?
Yes. So I guess what I'm asking is so you see on your map, and we're just map gaming for a second
Map
here, folks.
gaming.
But we have so you see on your map you have a lake, right? And
Yes,
on-
but that's
on-
way north.
well, yes, but where you're trying to get to.
Seedley, right?
Yes. Well, we wouldn't know that, but yes. So you are down at the bottom, right? And so are you going by way of Mary Alderbold and that road, or are you kind of going around to
I think
avoid Mary
essentially
Alderbold?
following the road. I just want to stay off of it by maybe
Okay.
a mile or so.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Good to know. Okay,
Maybe
fantastic.
a mile.
So you in that case, you can choose if you are going on mounts and livestock, or if
Yes.
you're leaving livestock here.
I would say all I want to bring is a pony for each of us.
Okay.
Make a horse for Apple. I don't know what that
Okay.
is.
Okay. So keeping Pinky here
And
on
she
the
hasn't
farm.
told us where we're going.
No, I just said we're going on a family camping trip.
Can I tell based on the direction we're going and my understanding
Give us a
of
history
the
roll.
area?
You
I mean,
haven't.
so far
You know
we're
what?
just
I'm going to
going
hold that. You
north.
haven't set out yet, so you can't tell.
Yeah, and we're just going north,
Yeah.
so I don't think
Well,
we really
okay.
would know.
But as we're going, let me know if
Yeah.
I can tell.
I have a nice little talk with Pinky.
Yeah.
Literally, because I'm for gold. But we're gonna go for a little while. But
We'll
she
be
can
back.
stay here and enjoy that she can move around. And we'll be back.
And as you walk away, actually, Pinky steps behind you and just stops, and when you turn around, just a little closer.
No, Pinky, you stay. We'll come back. Pinky, you stay here. Look at the grass. Look at the nice grass. That's green. It's all green.
Yeah, she slowly just hangs her head and kind of turns back around, goes back
I
with
miss
her.
you too, hon. Bye, Pinky. That goes further up the road.
So she turns around.
I'm up here now.
A hoof at you.
So as
Yeah.
the Wandertrap family heads off
Yeah.
with their ponies and their single horse into unknown adventures,
Yes.
we are going to cut.
Who's that Wandertrap?
are back, and we are going to pick right up with the Town Watch.
Yeah, congrats.
All right, so we last left the watch. 4 of you were doing your appointed rounds. Gregory was in the tavern, and we'll say a little bit of time has passed, maybe an hour or two. Where are you now? We'll start with the outer groups. We'll start with Jovert and Ken.
At this point, Jovert would have like made a point to try and find the other group and try to like been like, let's stick together.
And it wouldn't have been hard. Like we said, this is a fairly small town, so as you two are going back and forth the main arteries, you would watch them kind of lapping around. So it's easy to join up. And assuming you two answer their hails, the 4 of you can all be together. Yeah?
Yeah.
When, and actually, we'll say that Gregory, you are still in the tavern.
Well, my intention is like, if there's any like sailors or anyone like that looks suspicious, keep an eye on them. I would say after an hour, I'm probably gonna poke my head like if it's been a full hour, I'm gonna poke my head out and just to see where everyone is. I don't want to be like get a reputation for just lazing around the job,
Okay.
And about what time is it, do we think?
So sun set about an hour and a half ago, maybe 2 hours ago. So we're talking like
So
like
people probably aren't quite asleep. But
no. But certain people who have gone home have had their dinner. The cook fires are out now. It's maybe people who are outside are kind of socializing and that sort of thing. But it's definitely a solid night. So the 4 of you are outside as Gregory pops his head out, and you are able to see the rest of your crew together. What would you like to do?
They're not where they're supposed to be, but I can see them from where I am.
Yeah, they're a little ways away together, but
And they've all extinguished their torches.
no, I believe that
No, we still have.
Rega still needs his. Yeah.
Good. All right. Yeah, I mean, I'm hanging out like literally just outside, and I didn't see anyone particularly suspicious or like.
Oh, actually, why don't you give me a give me an insight check.
Inside check. Okay. Have a d20 there. That is a 17.
No, you didn't see anybody who looks super shifty. No one who seems like they're hiding anything. But you do see, there's sailors there, and sailors are always up to a little bit of trouble as people get a little drunk. But no, it didn't seem like anybody was plotting any kind of super crime at the moment.
Yeah. Then hey, I'll grab. Do they sell food there?
What's that?
Do they sell food at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm. What's the temperature like?
Temperature outside, it's we're talking like Georgia weather, so it's nice outside. Now that it's the evening, the humidity's broken a little bit. It's maybe in we'll say the high 60s, low 70s, so very comfortable weather outside.
Yeah, too hot for soup. Yeah, then then just a piece of fruit or something, and just I'm just gonna quietly watch them leaning against the inn.
Okay, you're able to find they've actually made a nice harvest of local fruits. There is a very pear-like fruit, except it is wider on the top than on the bottom. So yeah, great.
But the stem is
The stem is on the wide part. So yeah, it hangs that way. It's very weird.
Crazy world.
Yeah, it's
this world you guys have created, you gods.
yeah. I mean, it's just pure imagination right there. It's just like the font
We're
of.
so busy.
Yeah,
Wonka
yeah.
style.
This took us a year to come up with all this. Yeah.
What power hath we wrought?
I've wasted my life. So you do see them. You are noshing on your tasty. We'll call it. They've given it the catchy name of an upside down pear. And you're chewing that butt side first, as is the new custom. And the 4 of you, what are you all doing?
If Sahala has agreed before these 2 arrived, we probably found like a hay bale or 2 where one of the thoroughfares ends at the edge of town, and we're probably sitting watching the moon come up.
How does Zahala feel about that? All right, so the 4 of you,
So we're gonna catch up with us.
Yeah.
We're all
and you're chilling. You found hay bale. Of course there's hay bales. There's barrels. There's tumbleweeds.
Zaha agreed to this hay bale because you actually have good sight lines from it.
Yes, absolutely.
Great.
Yeah. There's a nice T intersection at the center, and you're actually very close to where the town center would be, where the Temple of Many Gods would be, and not far off is the inn, but you can hear kind of a decent amount of carousing from there. When, splitting the night, you hear an ear-splitting scream coming from... You hear the Wilhelm scream.
Yes,
You hear that, and it's public domain. It's okay. It's all safe. You hear it coming from the direction of upriver. So you remember the Beswick River leads in from this harbor up inland, and that you had spotted the Master's Blessing was docked up the river a bit. And sure enough, it does seem to be coming from that direction. And I'll say, since everyone is outside, even Gregory is poking his head out, you all hear that. And we'll start with with Gregory. What would you like to do?
I am. Yeah. We hear a scream, and theoretically it's like a military problem, but I think that I'm going to go to my team.
Okay. So as Gregory approaches, but before he arrives, what do the four of you do?
I will go find the person who is in trouble.
Wait. Did it sounded like it was outside of town?
Yeah.
Is outside town?
Yeah, just outside the town, up the river a bit.
We were told very specifically that we were to deal with the inside of the town, not to pay any attention
I'm
to the
worried
outside
that
of the
someone
town.
is in trouble.
Well, the military will take care of that.
But
That's their problem.
It's not the military far away now.
Where is the magistrate's tent?
Zahala starts walking towards where the scream was and just says, "You go tell the boss then."
Ken goes to follow her.
So to answer just two questions that were raised, military has not left yet. They are due to leave very shortly. Magistrate's tent will be kind of in the center of all the other tents, in the center of town.
Perhaps we should tell the magistrate. Also, I have made them a gavel.
We should go talk to the magistrate and see if maybe.
I am worried that someone is in trouble.
People.
Trouble.
Once somebody starts screaming, they usually don't have time for someone to do errands.
I will go with you. Let's go find them.
Okay.
All right. So
Like
Javert, you're going along with it.
Follow these two,
But-
like kind of like all right, as long as Ken's next
But
to me.
but you can go to the magistrate if you want.
No, we will let
Regis,
All right,
perhaps you can tell them where we have gone.
He, as they walk off and he's sitting there alone in the dark with people screaming out, he decides he's going to...
All right, yeah. All right, and Gregor, you see this in the darkness now. It's hard for you to make out everything because once they walk past Regus's torchlight, they essentially disappear into the night as far as your human eyes can tell. But you do see Regus and his torch go along. What do you do?
I am. So how far away am I?
You're about maybe 60 feet back from where Regus was just before he left, and they're getting further and further away.
All right. Well, so something I've always wanted to do and can't as a Maximilian. Is that like that little whistle thing?
Yep.
Can I say that Gregory can do this? Since
Gregory's going to give a performance check to see how he does. We actually had, I think we had Borno do this last time, or a couple times ago. How was it? So apparently Gregory cannot. Also, yes, also. Well, you know, it's that the mustache gets in the way.
Yeah. Too much mustache.
It completely.
I used to be able to do this. All right. I'm gonna dash after.
All right, so you charge up and you get there. Now, do you run up on them like out of breath, trying to catch up, or how do you appear whenever you arrive with them?
Oh no, I'm trying to keep in shape, obviously. So I'm not one for panting. Hey, so going off, are we? Abandoning your post.
Oh, you see.
There's someone in danger.
No, I'm kidding. So I heard the scream as well. Did you see anyone leave camp?
No, we did not.
No.
No. So, person's unknown out there.
We're talking as we're walking.
Screaming,
Sure.
yeah. Screaming in the dark, huh?
It's a walk and talk.
You're
I gotta
shortening
say,
this one.
y'all are brave. You have a lot of spunk and initiative.
Actually, could
I've
I
never been told that it's
make a roll for that question?
Wait, so the question was which one? Did you see anybody leave?
Yes.
All right. I will say that. Why don't you go ahead and give me? Let's actually have. We'll have everybody here except for Gregory do a perception check, and we're gonna do just a group check. So
Right.
more successes than failures is what we need.
And that would be considered hearing and smell, right?
For you, it's either one. Yes, you can take the advantage. Yeah.
Tell me you're ready.
All right. What do we got?
12.
Excuse me.
All right, 11.
Roll for performance.
Zahala does not. She does
Yeah.
not mind at all. That's awesome.
I got a 17.
All right. How did Regus do?
12 also.
And Regus actually is at disadvantage because it's you have the torch. So we'll say that's fine. All right. So unfortunately, you actually didn't see anybody leave. And no. We're doing it. We're doing it as a group check, so more successes or failures.
Yeah.
I will say that nagging at the back of Ken's mind is this kind of itching sensation that we missed something.
I was distracted while I was talking to Jover.
Yeah, we weren't paying a lot of attention. It's true.
Yeah, and it was hard from your hay bale. You know, you're looking at the moon a lot. You guys were a little distracted. But so in answer, so Gregory, they said they didn't see anything and they were being truthful.
Okay, right. Yeah. Well, since you didn't see anyone inside of camp, and we all just arrived together, I'm going to say that we're probably running into trouble. So may I suggest slowing down, as we don't barge in like a herd of elephants.
Can we just be quieter?
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so let's do a stealth check. This will also be a group check.
Oh, come on! I'm so good at stealth.
Dirty 20.
Hey, all right, Gregory's
Big, but
killing it
he's
here.
quiet.
What did Gregory get?
He rolled a 2, so that's 9.
Whew. Okay.
Plus 7.
3.
Total.
Yes.
Yowza.
16.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
20.
Oh, two 20s and a 16.
Nice.
So, despite the fact that our slick tiefling and our scowling tiefling and our slick thief or fighter guy are kind of not really keeping up there in the bargain, the other 3 managed to keep you guys quiet enough that you are feeling fairly confident that you are. You feel pretty undetected. It's dark. You do have your torch, so it's hard to stay completely hidden, but. Anybody who's not actively looking for you would probably have a hard time finding you. And in short order, you do come upon the spot where the Master's Blessing is anchored in the middle of the river. Now, the river is shallow here, just deep enough that the hull of the ship isn't like scraping the ground, but it can't really run aground or you'd never get it off. So you can't walk a gangplank to get to it, but there are little boats, like dinghies, on the side of the riverbank. One of which is still overturned, so it's upside down, much like the pears. And another one you can see is lapping against the side of the hull of the Master's Blessing itself and appears to be attached to it. And there is, in fact, a soft glow coming from that dinghy, the one that is moored up against the Master's Blessing.
A soft glow.
Yeah.
So there's
like a naturally flickering, maybe a lantern or a candlelight, something like that.
Great. And there's no way to get to this other than swimming?
Well, I mean, there is that the overturned dinghy that's on the shore.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
If you could fly, I suppose that's what you could burrow, maybe.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Is anyone comfortable with levitating or flying? Have you ever done it before?
No.
No. Would you like to?
Yes.
Yes. So, Jover gives Ken a potion of flight that he made earlier that day.
Oh, wow.
So you can fly for 10 minutes.
Oh. Wow. Wow. Oh. Okay. Great.
All right.
Ken
So
flies to the dinghy with the light on.
yeah. So and to recap the spatially, So the river leads up from the harbor.
Yes.
And it leads up inland, right?
Okay.
And the ship, the Master's Blessing, actually went up into the river a bit, so it's out of the harbor and actually in the river itself, in the center of the river. And there are on the bank, on your side of the river,
Okay.
there are dinghies that are used to get back and forth from the Master's Blessing.
Oh, gotcha.
So one of them was overturned
I was
on the.
thinking buoys when you said
Ah,
buoys.
yes,
I was
yes.
confused.
Both silly words.
Yep.
Right, they are.
They are.
Sea turns.
Yeah.
I mean, so
Very
does it look like
comfortable on
someone's
the
come
sea.
from the Master's Blessing on one of these dinghies recently, or?
Indeed,
So there's
it would.
one dinghy that's by the ship that has light on, and
Yep.
then there's one dinghy.
One on the shore that's
You
turned
got
over.
it. You got it. So, and you actually, it doesn't take much investigating with the torchlight to see that second dinghy was next to the one that's overturned on the shore, and probably they were both overturned because that's how you store a dinghy, so you keep it dry if it rains. It was flipped over, and probably rowed out to the boat, and so that's where it still remains. And at this distance on the shore, you're only about 30 feet away from it, and you can see clearly there is a flickering light. It's probably a lantern, like maybe
Well,
on
Ken's
the
over
floor.
top of it now. So.
Yes, Ken,
Also-
you're flying in the air.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Also, for reference, just so you know that for you guys, it's only your flight speed's only 10 feet. So
Okay.
a lot
Flying
slower than
very
how you,
slowly.
yeah, a lot slower than you
Yep.
think.
Doggy paddle through the air.
Right, but your ears are kind of whipping, like the wind is like blowing up. You got like a tongue, maybe lolling. Yeah.
It's also kind of pleasant. It's like the feeling when a dog sticks its
Yeah,
head out
yeah,
of a
yeah.
car.
Yeah, exactly.
Salty sea air.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Really fun.
Yeah.
It's
So
also really
what you
scary.
see when you get over it, what altitude are you flying at?
I think I'm hovering above the water. I don't think I'm that far.
Okay.
Because also I think I'll be
Yeah.
worried that it'll
Yeah,
stop and I'll need to swim.
Yeah.
So what you see when you get to the dinghy is there is indeed an oil lamp that has overturned, and there is a little puddle of oil on the treated wood of the dinghy that is burning. So there is the boat itself is not yet on fire, but there is a little puddle like an oil lamp was knocked over. Also, actually, give me an investigation check. Okay. It's hard to tell exactly what it is, but there's broken glass in the bottom of the boat. And as you see that, you quickly hear that same scream, the Wilhelm scream, but it's coming from the opposite side of the boat. So the far shore side of the boat, I don't know if that's starboard or port, but wherever you are, it's the other side of the
Wait,
boat.
the boat, not the dinghy.
Yes,
Yes.
the ship.
So I
The
think
ship.
I
Master's
scoop
blessing.
up the oil lamp because I don't want it to catch on fire.
Okay.
And I think I fly towards the boat.
Yep.
the
So you,
other
you,
side.
you fly slowly. You kind of rise over the boat or going around it.
I think over the boat.
Okay. And you go over the boat, and it's
I'm holding
quiet.
this oil lamp.
Yeah, you scoop the oil lamp up and you pat out the flame so it doesn't catch fire, and it's quiet for a moment, but then you hear a creaking sound like it sounds like wet rope being stretched taut, and sure enough, right towards you from the rigging swings a person who is dangling from a rope and yelling in pain and fear. Yeah. And it doesn't take you very long to recognize this is Garth. Garth, who is he's a haberdasher who has already managed to establish himself in just a day and a half as the town drunk.
Oh.
And he's dangling from the side of the boat by his ankle from the rigging, and he's in a lot of pain. And he's only about maybe 3 or 4 feet from the water's surface, so he's a little below you right now. But he's swinging rather violently on this rope.
I go hover next to him.
Okay.
And this is definitely the scream I've been hearing,
Yep,
right?
for sure.
I take out my dagger and I hold his ankle and I cut him loose.
All right, he falls in the water with a splash
No,
and a
I'm
scream.
holding him.
Oh, you're holding him.
I'm holding his ankle, so I'm
Oh,
I'm going
okay.
to hold him by his legs.
Yeah. And what's your strength again? Is it 18?
My strength is 15.
15.
Plus 2.
Yeah, so you have
is
plus 2
15.
modifier.
But I think I have actually I had a question about this,
Yeah.
sorry. It says that my racial trait is a strength plus 2. I'm not sure if that's been automatically
Yeah, that's
added.
It's already in there.
Yep.
Yep.
It is?
D&D Beyond calculates on because D&D Beyond is it's a very 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 versatile tool set.
Yeah.
that we recommend.
Not yet a sponsor there, right?
No.
So you are with a 15 strength, you're able to easily carry Gareth, and he is yelling kind of confusedly and in a lot of pain. You did catch him by the ankle that was hanging. That was hanging.
Hangling.
It was hangling. Yes.
Don't worry.
Bad as
we're
my
safe
kids.
now.
Yeah. And he feels very safe. What is everyone else doing on the other side of the boat on the shore?
Can we see this happening?
No, it's on the far side of the boat. You can't see anything.
In the
Turn
Okay. Yeah.
turn
I think I yell, I've got him!
All right. So you hear Ken yell, "I've got him."
Right. Well, that's a load up.
Turn the dinghy back over.
Does anyone have a way of getting a quick message back to camp?
We did not leave a
I
thing
have-
in camp.
I have message.
Right. Oh, perfect. You know, sorcerers are just wonderful people. Can you send a quick? There's a captain of the guard, I imagine, the military.
There's definitely a captain. There's plenty of military in camp not far from you, but it's probably outside the range of the 120 feet of your message spell.
Oh,
so you
yeah.
can't really
How
shoot a
far
message.
away are we?
Maybe 100 yards or so from where the military is in camp, but their camp is it's going to be broken down in the next day or two to get away, so to start their march inland. But they're far enough removed from the town that there's not a ton of intermingling.
Okay. But not in the direction of the boat. They're
No.
any other way. Okay. So there's no one she could reach with.
No, you're pretty far outside of the town itself, so you'd have to walk back a bit to message someone.
Well, she could do that and still stay within sight, basically, right? So it's like 100 yards.
Kind of walk out. Yeah, sure. Yeah, you
right.
can walk on back and
Okay,
message someone.
Can you just tell someone to get a couple of military boys over here?
And she walks away.
Okay. So Ken, what are you doing?
I swing Garth up, so I'm holding him like a baby now.
All right.
And
He screams in pain.
Great, and I say, how did you get here? And how did you get like that?
And what does Garth say?
Oh, doggy man, thank you, doggy man. He's wasted. And he just called you doggy man.
My name is Ken.
Yeah, doggy man. Oh,
My last bottle. My last bottle. And he gives you the brand name, which we can't say for IP reasons, of a very famous Ushtaraki brandy. And he starts to cry. He says,
We all know the one you're talking about.
yeah, it's pretty obvious. It comes in a box. Everyone knows it. I still had 3/4 of it left. I still had 3/4 of it left, and it's in the drink. Right, so then he points down, and there's pieces of this old bottle. Sort of. He goes on to tell you that he's very upset because he was up there. He thought it'd be a good idea to climb the rigging, and
That was a bad idea.
he dropped his bottle and went to go get it and got his foot caught in the rigging.
Yeah, and he's in a ton of pain.
He's in a ton of pain. Yeah, I mean he's also wasted, so he's yeah.
I'm glad you're safe. We will get you back home.
All right, and you're slowly hovering your way back over.
Yes.
Okay. And yep.
One minor before your character left to go back to camp, Joubert is going to give you a sending stone, because he had 2 sending stones, and so he has the other one, and they're shaped into Joubert's face, so now you have a Joubert phone.
Joubert phone.
All right. It's like Cricket Wireless, except
Jovo.
even less buttons. All right, great.
All
So you
right.
have that. So you're marching back toward town, and what do you do?
Once I get in range, I send a message. Who do you want me to tell about it?
And he's pretty far away now.
That's in game.
Well, she has a sending stone though.
She
I'm
does.
sending stones, so I
Yeah.
can use the
You can
sending
ask,
stone
yeah.
to be like, what did you want me to say? And to whom?
Just get us tell the military command to send a couple of troops down here, screaming on the master's blessing.
He said, he said you have to talk to magistrates and some military commanders, ask them to send people.
Is the magistrate in the same place as the military
No.
commander?
No.
Nope.
So I feel like she's like,
Go talk to important people to get soldiers.
does she even know who the military commander is?
Nope.
Shall we just
All
start
right, so
walking
she's gonna
back?
go with the magistrate then, because at least
I
she knows
think
who
that
that.
All right.
Okay.
So you cast message. You point in the general direction of the magistrate's tent.
Yeah.
Because you're familiar with the magistrate, you're able to get a bead on approximately where you cast the spell. You say what exactly?
Magistrate, do not be alarmed. This is a message spell from Zahala the cook, also from the town watch. You might remember me. I'm blue, tiefling. Oh, is there a word limit on this?
25.
Yes,
So
25 words.
you got 10 words left.
Man was on ship, drunk.
Well,
Do you know that yet? I don't
No.
think I've
Yeah,
gotten
yeah,
sure.
yeah. We just know scream.
Man screamed,
Master's blessing.
Master's
Let's
blessing.
say
Found him, send help
Oh my God.
from military.
All right, you send that message, and in response, you hear. All right, so the rest of the watch, Ken has rejoined you with this drunk person in tow.
Still in my arms.
And we'll say that the 10 minutes flight time has now all but expired, so you're able to alight on the ground fairly safely. You are together, you have this drunk person in your arms, and you can make your way back to camp to sort out whatever sorts of punitive measures need to be taken with this fella, and you can work that out as we cut away from the. Oh yeah, you.
Can I say 2 things?
Yes, of course.
I want to turn to Joubert and say, thank you. That was exhilarating. And then I want to look around at everyone and say, it's probably not my place, but I do think that in the future, we should probably leave at least one of us at our posts. You know, if something like this happens again. Because the town has no watch right now.
Hey, that is great insight.
Thank you.
Wonderful job.
We should get this man some medical attention.
And right then, as you say that, the town erupts in a mushroom cloud. That's just-
All right, so now we are cutting to the city of Tourmaline. And the scouts walk through the gates and look at this town. Now, Aram, you have done some research of this town, and Roderick, you probably know a little bit about it too. The city of once, 20,000 people or so. The so-called Jewel of the Crown. That's how it's got its name, Tourmaline. It's not a large city, but it's in terms of size. But you walk through, and counter to what you've seen of some of the surrounding territory, the city is in miraculously good shape. Now, the only thing you notice immediately is that some streets of the city have a little bit of flooding. There's a couple inches of water, probably due to whatever's damming up the gate, causing the waters to rise a little bit. So the city has a little bit of water damage, a little bit of, so you're kind of walking in some parts through a couple of inches of water.
Right. We never looked at whatever is blocking that up.
You have not looked at that,
Okay.
no.
But it doesn't look like it was under the ocean, though.
Well, in the river in this territory, I mean, it would basically be, the gates were like sluices that were supposed to be, you would know this from history, supposed to be cleaned every once in a while just to prevent muck from getting in them and so forth, so that this wouldn't happen. It could be as simple as they haven't been cleaned, or something could be stuck down there underneath the water, but you can't tell.
I mean, if you want, I can check.
Oh, I could also check.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are you checking
Well,
before you enter the town?
I guess we're both asking Nocta.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I guess you're planning to turn into something, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I can just go.
Right. Well, we could, it wouldn't hurt to if it
Will
would,
you
if it would end the flooding in the city.
this?
Should we go together? Should we go together?
Yeah. I mean that would be fun.
Okay.
That sounds like a great time.
Yeah.
Let's move quickly though.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Riley's gonna dive in. And,
Okay.
Like start his whole prep.
Yep.
This one out.
So you guys
Yeah.
take a quick sojourn. Give me just give me an investigation roll.
Okay. Hang on. Nobody scream. I'm a giant octopus right now.
Oh, you're an octopus.
So,
Is it possible I could make this a perception underwater?
I mean, I guess if you want to just do a general lay of the land, sure. Yeah. If you want to go down and just sort of look around and see what you see.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
See if I see anything obvious.
Okay.
Doing a thing. Oh, that's a natural 20.
Okay, great. So you are so basically with that natural 20, you see that there's a bunch of crap down here. It looks like several years of stuff has been kind of thrown into the river. There's old carts down here. There's a couple of there's a lot of skeletons and things that have been for years and years, kind of a lot of livestock and things, dead things thrown in the river. A lot of furniture and garbage. You do see, some old waterlogged carts and so forth. You do see little glints of gold pieces here and there. And in one particular area, in general, kind of on the bottom, you see a kind of a glinting bag.
I think I'm gonna swim over to
I'll let Theod take his turn.
Oh yeah. Do you also need me to roll anything or?
Yeah, give me a separate investigation roll, I guess then.
Oh, all right. Let's see here. Oh, it's a an octopus. My investigation, not perception. Yeah, I guess. So I've rolled a 13, and I need to figure out what that means.
Okay.
It says +7 perception, but it doesn't say anything. Yeah, is it just intelligence?
So you see perception, yeah, would just be intelligence, unless it says separately that it's the animal.
Oh no, I maintain my intelligence, so it's +2, so 15.
Wait, was perception?
Yeah.
It's wisdom.
No.
Oh, wisdom,
Well,
sorry.
No. Wait,
It says
investigation.
octopuses are
Investigation or perception?
intelligence with mine.
Sorry, you made an investigation check, right?
whatever you want me to do.
If you're searching for something specific, you're making an investigation check. If you are just looking around,
Oh, I'm just looking around.
okay, so perception.
20.
Okay. You see the same exact thing. You see a glinting bag in the ground. So to collapse the time on this, after 10 minutes of searching, you find a bag of, several bags of pieces of coins and small pieces of jewelry and so forth that look to have found their way into the river at some point in history. A quick cursory glance would indicate that this could be worth a fair amount of money. You also find, Riley, you find a box about yay big, that like a nice wooden box that when you open it, you see inside a beautiful tourmaline handled curved blade.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's cool. As we, sorry.
No, you go ahead.
Like, I mean, assuming we move this to surface, part of my thinking is that, if there's something easily removed that's blocking it, like just to like.
So
break it down.
what's blocking? Yeah, what's blocking it is just like years and years of detritus and garbage and stuff. So it'll take you a good deal of time to open this up. You could, if you want, you could dredge the river.
So,
I mean,
while we're waiting for the boys to come back, can I interest anyone in a round of 3 Dragon Ante?
Of what now?
3 Dragon Ante, you never played?
No. What is that?
Oh, it's very, very simple.
We've been traveling for days to check out the city, and now we're in the city. We need to move.
Well, are we going to move before they come back? No.
So let me describe what you're seeing while they're fooling around underwater. What you're seeing is the town, the city of Tourmaline, and you would the both of you would know sort of what the what awaits you here in terms of buildings and so
I thought
forth.
we had to wait for them to come back before we could go investigate.
I'm sorry. I thought you would enter the city because that's what we did first, and then they decided to jump down in the river. Yeah. So I'm saying you're in the river.
I thought we all went back towards the river.
No, it's the river's right outside the city, so they can easily get into the river from where they're. So you are in the city. So what you're seeing is a central sort of mall, a central big plaza, and there's a lot of these big marble buildings. From what to expect here, that there is a Senate House where they sort of have their legislative building, and that is this, big ionic columns and looks great. It's still in perfect condition. You see, a little bit up the hill, you see a courthouse, a house of judgment, on which there's a big statue of the god of justice, Anaktir. You see a museum, a beautiful museum that has or had. Many books full of interesting lore and knowledge. However, it's bearing the brunt it's at sort of the lowland, so it's part of it's flooded for sure. You can tell. You also see the mansion of the governor up the hill, where the governor would have sat and ruled in the sort of the city hall of the colony, and the treasury. There is, in fact. When you first arrive, you see not a giant raven, but a larger than normal raven on the roof of the treasury that quickly, when it sees you, flies away.
Okay.
And yes, and what you don't really see are people. There are not people in this town currently. However, give me a perception check, those of you in the town.
Can I roll with advantage because I have
I got a nat one.
Because I have Gertrude as well.
Uh,
an extra set of eyes.
I would say let's you can roll for it, and Gertrude can roll as well using the pseudo dragon stats.
Got it.
Yeah.
So that's 12. I don't know what the pseudo dragon stuff.
Well, let's find out. You can go to D&D Beyond.
And what'd you get, Soren?
18.
Okay. So I so Soren, yeah. So I'll let you notice that while you're kind of looking around this general area, you see in one kind of corner, it's almost like you kind of tilt your head as you're walking in, and you see that down one alleyway, there is a small pile of corpses.
Can I say I got a nat one because Aram is so excited?
Yes,
he's just like, there's this building and there's this building.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's worried about the books.
Look over there.
Oh dear. I walk over to the
Can we tell how
corpses.
far away they
They 20, 25 feet from you or so. Yeah, yeah.
Can I go
They're just
do a
around the
medicine
corner.
check on them?
Yeah.
To figure out what killed them?
Yeah.
How fresh they look.
Yeah.
That would be an 18.
18, great. These are not, these are dead probably a few weeks dead. But interestingly, no, these are all, these are basically, they are, let's see, they are humans, mostly. A few dwarves, a few elves, there's about a half dozen of them. And they are also wearing similar Master's Blessing type uniforms. However, they're not just laying there, they've sort of been arrayed there and they're little like stones collected by their heads, as if they were sort of like gravestones. And that's it. And what they're actually lying in is sort of like an area of kind of like a park type area, as if like on the ground, as if like awaiting burial.
Got it.
Okay.
Is there any information that I can glean just from that, from the way they've been arranged and their clothing, and anything else that might be around them, based on my?
Sure, make a roll, and I guess if you're trying to determine something about their clothing or political or anything like that, you can make a history roll. Otherwise, you can make just a general investigation roll.
Make an investigation roll, I guess.
Okay.
Because I think that's the one. That is a I can math. 14.
Okay. I'm sorry, I have to retcon. I actually misspoke. These are not wearing Master's Blessing clothes. I am so sorry.
Oh, okay.
These are not wearing Master's Blessing
But
clothes.
they are only a couple weeks dead.
They are only a couple weeks dead, if that.
I would like to see if their if the like soles of their boots
Yes.
match the prints we saw earlier.
Right. So, so what you're investigating is, I should tell you that. Sorry, I misspoke. They are wearing sort of like clothes of peasantry clothes. They are not. These clothes look, very dirty, very tattered. Not super old, but fairly old. And you notice that they're in a style that hasn't been worn in quite some time.
But they were an old style of the crown.
An old style of the crown. The boots bear no resemblance to the boots that you saw the footprints of.
So we have these corpses that are a few weeks old wearing clothing that's about a century old.
Yes. Now, are you guys dredging the thing? It's going to take a couple hours, which is why I just want to know.
I mean, is there, you
unless
don't
you-
need to clear it completely. Is there just ways to sort of like, lance the boil a little bit?
Sure. I'll. I mean, you're an octopus. So, what's your octopus's strength?
17.
17. All right. I'm gonna say that. Yeah. If you kind of stay down there for like an hour, you'll be able to get enough out that it'll start to let enough water through. Yeah.
And also with Riley's assistance, would that like cut the time at all?
Yeah.
Riley's
I'm saying that's still about. I mean, it's a
Okay.
big river, and you're pulling garbage away
Yeah,
from
I mean,
it.
dredging a river is a process that takes
Yeah.
like heavy machinery.
I'm being very
and-
generous by saying it
So,
takes
yeah,
an
so
hour.
then probably,
Yeah.
I'd say we just get the things that we saw.
Yeah, I
valuable,
would
and
say
then
that.
You know it can be done when there's downtime. So
Right.
what you're able to find is a like I said, just to sum it up, that dagger, and then a collection of jewels and coins and stuff, which you'll have to have appraised at a certain point to realize how much it's worth. You have to sit and count on some downtime. So when you guys are kind of standing around there looking at the corpses, you hear a cough from behind you, and you turn around and you see an old man. The old man does not appear to have been coughing at you because he's not really even looking in your direction. He's just kind of sitting sort of on the steps of the Senate House.
I approach him.
Okay. He is a I guess give me a history check.
23.
Okay. Wow. Okay, so with that,
Aaron knows lots of stuff.
looking at those books, at first glance, you think this is impossible. First of all, he's wearing the robes of the crowned Senate. And this is, again, a style. It's as if you could imagine, like, someone wearing, like, colonial garb and powdered wig. That's what the kind of the separation of time. He's wearing the old Senate garb, right?
Like
And
100 years ago.
yeah, a couple hundred years ago. And as you get closer, you even think that you recognize the himself. You recognize the guy himself. He is, or at least looks like, a famous senator from 250 years ago. His name would be Terav Neskrid. And Neskrid was the major crown legislative representative at the time of the island's disappearance. And now he appears to be an old man, 80s, 90s perhaps, older than he would have been when the island disappeared.
Sorry, I'm just.
Would Roderick recognize this stuff as well, or would this information have been shared?
I think currently I'm just walking towards towards him, so I wouldn't have been able
Yeah,
to.
I mean, you could give me a history check, I suppose. He's kind of just like aimlessly sitting there. He's banging he has like a little rock in his hand. He's kind of banging it on the ground.
That's a 18.
You recognize the oldness of the clothes, and it's weird. You don't recognize him.
It can't be. Excuse me, sir. Are you Mr. Nesgrid?
He looks over, and he looks at you. Senator.
Senator Nesgrid.
Senator Nesgrid.
How long have you been here?
Some winters. Some winters.
Do you know who this is?
No, I don't.
Question: will you have rejoined them by now?
Not quite.
Well, I don't think it's possible, but I can tell you for almost certain fact that this man resembles to a T Senator Nesgrid, who lived 250 years ago.
I am Senator Nesgrid. He smiles at you.
Was one of the major legislative representatives of the crown
Before
before
the
the continent
continent.
disappeared.
Before the continent went away.
Sir, are you alone?
I made
others
the
here?
laws. I made the
And
laws.
what do you do now?
Well, if you see any laws around, I suppose I've made them.
Are there any other people around?
Oh, there used to be a lot of people around, yes. There are some there.
What happened to them?
Oh, they're dead.
Who
Well,
killed
that's very
them?
helpful.
Who killed them?
And he kind of looks over. Them in particular?
Yes.
Well, it's hard to say. Quite hard to say. Could have been the bloody skins.
Who are the bloody skins?
Oh, you'll see them. You'll know them. The bloody skins. Could have been.
That's fairly ominous, my friend. Do you think you could tell us a little more specific detail?
Well, I guess give me a charisma, right? Or persuasion, or whatever you want to use.
So,
It's 2 persuasion.
Oof. Your persuasion's crazy.
Even so, a 17. Wow.
Bloody skins.
Plus 13.
Last I saw, they're in the arena, and yeah, and you're noticing. And at this point, I'm going to say Riley and Theod, you've been able to join them, and you're noticing. Yeah, there's like a strange. Even though this man is a senator and a human, and those on the river were turtles, there is a strange similarity in the sort of the lack of affect that they both have, and the lack of caring about things like death and survival and things like that, and just kind of a general mindlessness. You get the sense that some of his answers are sort of rote answers.
Have I ever seen or heard of anything like this in terms like a magically induced?
Give me an Arcana check.
Thing, or? That is a 20.
No.
sir.
22.
Sorry, let me clarify. You've heard of there
I think
are
22,
certain
actually.
22. There are certain charmed and frightened conditions that could certainly do this. I imagine what else could do this? There's certain.
You've heard of magical effects that can diminish a person's mental faculties, make someone less intelligent, less wise, less charismatic. But this specific effect, being completely devoid of anything resembling strong emotion, this is something new. And actually, if anybody else would like to make a medicine check along the same lines, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can make it with advantage. Actually, what we'll do is I'll do one check, and we'll say that the
That's a
first person to call it's
22.
doing it with advantage because you're helping.
Okay, so that's a 22.
Okay.
Or a 23.
Yeah. So very high roll again, and unless there was some sort of major trauma. I mean, you could imagine a situation where a person, would suffer a severe head trauma and could possibly be in a state like this where certain levels of higher function remain intact, but there is just no passion, no desire going on at all. It would be a rare condition indeed. And here you've encountered it across several different races, several different groups, and it seems to be, if not uniform, the similarities are, bless you, the similarities are very strong, that this seems to be affecting a wide swath of the population here.
All right, I've never seen anything like this, but it does seem like the dwarves that we met on the way here.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir.
Senator.
Senator, are there any others around, any other people in this city?
There are a few of us. There are some of us. There used to be a lot of people in the city of Tourmaline.
Until the bloody skid?
Thousands of people, perhaps. Yes, thousands. However many thousands are, yes. Bloody Skins, yes, Bloody Skins came.
Sir,
And that is what happens to all the rest of the people.
The Bloody Skins, they, quite a lot of us were made dead by the Bloody Skins, yes.
Sir, are you aware of what happened when the continent appeared to disappear?
He just looks at you blankly. There were many people in the city of Tourmaline.
Sir, will you come with us?
The arena? The Bloody Skins, you'll find them in the arena.
Great. I think we most certainly should take this man back with us.
Yeah, don't you think you could use a nice cup of tea, some nice companionship? We have a lovely fire back at the camp.
He just kind of goes back to
So
banging his rocks, which I didn't realize that's what
I
Alan
was
was
trying to play
doing.
along.
And
He got mad at me.
I
He was
yelled
like-
at him
he's like,
first.
"Just stop that."
I thought he was just making noise. He's banging rocks on the ground. That's what he's doing. Yeah.
We'll talk about this later.
I
I
know.
think one of us should stay with him while the others investigate. I think we need to bring this man back as evidence.
Yes, there could
There
be
is something
real
very
danger.
strange here.
I'm hesitant to split us up, though. It could be real danger at the stadium, Coliseum.
I've
Arena.
never heard of
Arena.
Anything.
of
Staples
anything
Center.
that would bespell somebody
Barclays.
like this.
No. I feel very strongly that we should not let this man out of our sight. I think he's our best evidence or clue to figuring out what is going on.
Should we just then bring him with us and just protect him?
So, Nocta, forgive me for being a bit dense, but...
No, duh.
Nocta. My apologies.
No worries, no worries.
Nocta.
Senator.
I'm curious, were you given specific instructions as to this fact-finding mission, beyond just finding if the city is intact and if the people of the Master's blessing are here?
We're finding what we could find here.
I think, listen, fellas, I think Aram has hit on it exactly. We take the loony fellow, get him back. I don't like Bloody Skins doesn't sound very friendly, does it? That doesn't sound very warm, very comforting. I say we regroup.
All right, we will take him to Arthur. And let Arthur look after him while we go in and very carefully investigate, see what we can learn of the Bloody Skins without engaging.
There's a fellow.
All right.
Okay.
I think I turn to him and I say, Sir, will you come with me? Senator, will you come with me?
Senator.
And I extend my hand.
He takes your hand as if it's a practice campaign move and clasps his hand around
And I
yours.
start to pull him towards
And
me.
he's shaking your hand as you walk.
And he's following me?
He's following you.
Great, so
yeah.
holding his hand,
Uh-huh.
and I take out my staff and I make a flower and I hand it to him.
Okay.
I'm hoping that will make things seem less scary to him.
All right.
I think we walk him back to Arthur.
Yes, all of us together. From this point on, we move very carefully and we stay together. Something here has killed everyone in the city.
I would like to send Gertrude sort of like as we walk away to have her kind of scouting the area.
Yeah, are you sending her into a particular area in general or in
She said
particular?
the
Or?
arena.
Yes, okay, so I will say, and you are able to see through Gertrude's eyes.
I am.
So you all carry Senator Neskrid back outside the gates, right, where you left Arthur, the Furbolg, and sit them down and get him some tea and so forth. And you see through the eyes of Gertrude.
Okay.
And your pseudo dragon clambers up the sides of what can only be the arena, this big, circular space. And in the arena, Gertrude sees
Justin Bieber.
No, Gertrude sees a pile of red tiefling corpses, around 50 of them that have been burned beyond recognition. And at that, we cut to the Wandertraps.
Oh man.
Oh, whoa.
Corpses. 4 days. So many corpses.
So,
And, Carla, when you look through your tiefling, you're blind and deaf, right? Like your own senses, you cannot hear or see yourself. You're looking through your
I don't
your
think
pseudo
that's
dragon
how it
senses.
works. Or if it is, it didn't say that.
It's just it's still the regular find familiar rules.
no,
I think
it's
no.
an invocation that I
I
have.
know it's the Pact of the Chain, right? All right, we'll talk about it later. I wasn't sure if
Yeah.
you were blind and deaf as well.
It's Voice of the Chain Master. You can communicate telepathic with your familiar, perceive through its senses, and speak through it in your own voice as long as you're on the same page.
All right, perfect. So you, oh, that's great. So you can actually see them. All right.
okay.
Indications are great.
So, as you are the Wandertrap family, we're back in the Wandertrap family. So,
No longer an octopus.
no longer an octopus, and so you all have decided to, well, Mama has decided for you to head up north. As far as you know, you're going on a short little quest up north, but it's been a few hours. It's actually been 4 or 5 hours now. And you're walking through, kind of increasing, like, briar patches and some muddy areas, and it's a lot less fun than it was. You cross over the trade road, which, as you cross over the trade road, you see it's in pretty good condition. In pieces, but you're not taking the trade road. You're just crossing it, and you're going straight north, right?
Yeah. Again, we're like a half a mile away from the train.
Yeah. So that's as you started off, and now you're past the trade road, and you are. So if you were to look at the map, you are just past the road that runs between Tourmaline and Aaronport, and you're headed north.
Are we headed towards Woundkeep then?
Yes. Well, that would be the little tower in between the two. Yeah.
Yes.
Sort of. I mean, you're not. You don't see that in sight. You're a little off that, but you're heading in that general direction. You're headed north, and this journey keeps going for quite some time. And I don't know how any of you feel about that.
Mama, where do we go? Why are we going so far away?
I'll tell you when you need to know, darling.
Oh, okay. I'm just concerned about the farm and everybody.
Do you not trust Mr. Church, darling?
I mean, Mr. Church always needs some help here and again.
Everybody needs help here and again, but he's got help. He's got the other farm hands.
Mama, are we going to Wilhelm Keep?
Honey, I'll tell you where we're going when I need you to know.
Yes, Mom.
Hey,
Citrine checks her math and is like, is it Wilhelm Keep?
Yeah. So and
There's a lot of historical importance.
What kind of historical importance it got?
Well,
tell me.
it was a watchtower between Tourmaline and Aaronport, so it was used as a sort of a courier place, but also for security. So it was interesting because it was both a communication point and a military defensive point.
hey,
Interesting.
how? Where'd you get so smart?
Oh, I don't know. Ain't nothing. It's just knowing stuff.
Well, like, nobody knows stuff out here.
You know your sister Trade's always got her nose in a book. It's got to be good for something.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, kids.
Interesting that we're going to a courier place where there's so many valuable historical places of intrigue. I imagine it's going to be a firm learning experience. Mama,
Yes, darling.
do they do much mining out there?
Did they do much mining at, what is this place? The Will Kill?
I don't think so, no.
Does that answer your question?
Any
Amy,
mining
this time?
operation wouldn't have been convenient to have it near something like that.
Citrine was maybe going to tell them something, but just sort of to keep him, to give him a little lesson. He goes, keep riding.
So you.
Why are you asking about mining? Since when do you like that kind of thing?
Yeah, so when, Amethyst, what had him come to your brain?
Oh, I don't know. You know how things sometimes end up in there. I am just so curious about this world and all of its hidden treasures.
You ain't never been curious about nothing, boys.
Opal's gonna like lean in and like kind of grab like Amethyst's hands and be like, Amethyst, do you have like a song you could sing to keep us going?
Yeah, Opal.
Just question.
Delightful.
Yeah, keep our minds off of the unknowable. I'd like to pull out my dulcimer thing.
You pull out your dulcimer?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great.
On request. And just play a little soothing tune for Opal and Apple, who are so scared and confused about Ronald taking the trick. If I know any song about
It's not on here, but can I begrudgingly accompany her with a harmonica?
Sure.
yeah. Do I know any songs about just like going into the unknown?
Well,
Have you seen Frozen 2?
yeah. no, we know. I would say, yeah. I mean, you can make one up if you don't, but yeah, you. There's probably it's probably a fairly popular halfling, or a lot of going into the known. Yeah. So you sing your song about going into the unknown.
Yeah.
That's a nice idea.
Yeah. Oh, we're going somewhere, no one knows where.
That by that famous barn in Delta Z. That's a dumb joke that I just made.
I don't know what it means.
No.
And as you're singing and your voice is raising up, and actually for once, Amethyst and Jade are actually kind of making some semblance of harmony.
Yeah.
And it seems like the day is going to be salvageable. You hear a really nasty nails on a chalkboard kind of screeching.
Kids cry.
All at once, you look up, and the midday sun, or I guess it's like the afternoon sun, you see something flash in front of it. It's just a dark shadow, but as it emerges from the other side, you're all kind of you were following its motion. Your eyes blinking a little bit from looking right at the sun. You see some sort of bird, and you notice it wheels and turns, and you don't know how you didn't pick up before, but a second one is behind it, and it's swooping, making a wide arc, and it makes this really grating, terrible noise, and a second one from behind it answers its call, and as it gets closer...
Opal wants to use her staff of bird calls.
Alright, Opal makes a bird call. What specific bird call are you trying to make?
This sounds weird, so I'm gonna go with a loon's call.
Which is actually like that beautiful, like Maine lake sound.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I would try and do it, but that would be awful. So you make this sound and you wait, and you've seen Opal do this before. Opal being very in tune with nature, and you're all kind of expecting some kind of this pristine moment of natural beauty where Opal communes with nature, and instead you hear this horrible screeching answering call, and these two banking birds turn directly toward Opal's direction. The rest of you, and as they get closer, you see the sun glinting off of their beaks, which are unnaturally elongated, and you realize these are not bird size; these are people size. These are 5-6 feet long, maybe a 10-foot wingspan. And as they get closer, you see that below where most birds would have, bird feet, these have a writhing mass of tentacles. And in fact, as they get closer, you see that these large snapping beaks that are the size of a grown human's forearms, much larger even than you, are in fact they're metallic. These beaks, and they have row upon row of razor-sharp teeth inside, and they begin to dive towards you at a breakneck speed, hurtling out of the sky directly toward all of you.
Opal, get behind Apple.
Okay.
And we're gonna cut right there.
Diving. It's like, I regret what I've done.
Yes, thank you all. Awesome.
Thank you for tuning in to episode 6 of Difficult Terrain. Next week we'll be back with episode 7. That's how that works chronologically, just like that.
Next week, next month,
Next
year,
month, whatever it
tomorrow.
is. Thank you to Sirenscape for all the sounds except for this one. Thank you to Artists and Dice. Thank you to McClure's
Dogmite,
Pickles,
McClure's
Dogmite
Pickles.
Games, and the 20-sided store, of course. Hire McClellan Becker of the Cannery Collective, David Haskell, and Punching Up Productions, Maximilian Avery Clark. And thank you. And I'm sorry to yell at you earlier.
You didn't yell at me. No one else
I
saw
yelled
it.
at you with my
It was in
eyes.
our minds. We're gonna work it out as we do, and we'll be back next time. Well, at least one of us will. Whoever wins the fight. All right. Bye, everybody. Thank you. Awesome.
Yo, come back, man.
All right, that's dope. I love that.
All
episode.
right. Nice. That was very, very exciting. Hans, that was fun, right?
Oh my god, yeah, so fun. That was a great episode.
Yeah, that was cool. Very cool. So yeah, that was episode 6, and what's gonna happen to the Wandertraps?
I don't know. I remember at that moment when, like, at the end of that, I was just like, "This is it for Opal." Just lost in a mass of tentacles.
Yeah,
Who
little
knows?
18-inch Opal there in the Snallygaster's mouth. Yeah, cool. That was very fun. I mean, I want to call again people to inclusiveroots.org/donate for working with the Roots Project, which we're very excited to be working alongside of. But Hans, any thoughts on the episode, or anything that you want to talk about
Oh
before
my god.
we sign off?
I think this was the episode where, like, so many of my characters, like, found, like, this is my partner. This is, like, really where the moment was. Like Javert and Ken finding each other.
Ken,
Ken
yeah, that yeah, for sure.
was
Yeah.
definitely a moment. And I was just like, yes, the best boy. And Ken was just doing the most work. I was just like, Ken was just the one who's like, Ken is the person who keeps the whole company going, and all of us are just falling apart.
I think that's true.
Beyond that, and then Opal, I forgot, like, how wholesome Opal was. I was like, oh, I made that decision. Weird.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Consistently great decisions. Cool. Well, thank you so much, and we will we'll have to stick around and see what happens next week on episode 7 and beyond of Difficult Terrain. Hans, anything you want to plug before we go?
Yeah, I guess, like, just follow me on Twitter at Sir Pontius, or Instagram at same name, Sir Pontius. And yeah, I'll put some new content out, woodworking, game stuff. Go crazy. We'll have a good time.
Woodworking and game stuff. Are we rating anyone tonight? What's going on? Okay, we are rating Claire Picks, a musician and cat lady, so stay tuned for that. All right, thank you, and stay tuned for episode 7 next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.